Hello, everybody. We are live. Yes, so you do. Yeah, you do have access on Nutty. It's Nutty's Vampire Curse. So I will rename that and just name it for what it is. Right, so it's now just named Vampire's Curse. But yes, so stage one for both of you. You have access to that, so you know what you need to do if and when those things happen. At the moment, read your nighttime one is not quite active yet. You're still on that. You've had that lesser restoration, so it's slowed it somewhat, so you don't have the heightened senses that Ripple has access to. That will happen over the course of this session, more than likely, however. So, ladies and germs, welcome. I know it's been a long time since we've been online with this. We've had people away in Japan and people sick and all sorts of things, which is why we've had to postpone games. But we are back for session 14 of the Land of the Lost. This session is called The Cure, as it appears that a couple of our party have contracted a bit of a disease recently. So, session 13, our last session of Vampire's Kiss. Last we left off, you had travelled the old Svalich road westward from Beriskar, the small village that you encountered when you first arrived in this strange land. And along the way, Ripple started to feel the effects of the bite she received from the group of vampires that you had recently fought. And her senses heightened to the point of discomfort. Extreme loud noises and seeing things that she shouldn't be able to see normally became very disorientating for her. Also along the way, a horse-drawn cart speeds down the road, and as it passes, a piece of parchment is handed off to Saira, who in turn hands it to Jurek. And upon reaching the town of Valaki, initially you were denied entry, however, as the guard believed Jurek to be a werewolf with his Simic hybrid look. But after some quick talking and a little bit of convincing, they allow you entry into the town. Once in, they close and lock the gates behind you as it is starting to get dark. The town is large, spread out over a reasonable area. The populace seems sullen and not overly interested in conversation, especially with strangers. Several posters along the way showing a festival is upcoming in the next few days, the Festival of the Blazing Sun, and in big bold letters at the bottom, all must attend. Unusual to see such a poster in this darkened, dingy place, but this is what you're seeing as you're walking through this dingy, sort of dark town. Passing by the general goods store and stockyards named Arasek, you spy a carnival wagon parked in the yards, which stands out because of its colourful paintwork, although it is peeling and somewhat in disrepair. Continuing on to the inn, which is named the Blue Water Inn, in the centre of town, or thereabouts. You enter and are greeted by a warm interior, a few people inside. Erwin, the tavern keep, offers wine and food, and you secure 2 rooms for the night. During dinner, Arcos reveals what the parchment which he had lifted from Jurek's, well, attempted to lift from Jurek, and eventually was handed by Jurek, but he sort of reveals what the parchment you gained had said. But after a little time in conversation, Jurek actually reveals what it originally said, because he had altered it a little bit. And I think off the top of my head, it was something along the lines that one amongst you is not who they seem, and to beware. During this time, Reed becomes ill and starts showing the same symptoms as Ripple had earlier that day. And it seems that both Ripple and he are now afflicted with the same thing. A lesser restoration is cast by Orvan to aid him with his symptoms, which enables him to feel a little better. Secrets are shared. Along with that, Sayra reveals her ties to the Vistani gypsies within this land. Eventually, you all are headed to your rooms, find sleep. All except for Orvan seem to suffer from some pretty nasty nightmares, some more real than others, and we pretty much rejoin you now as you all wake, as the sun, such as it is in this place, begins to rise and the day, the rooms do brighten somewhat, although still overcast and misty always, it seems, in this place. So we'll start with the boys in the other room. The room brightens enough that it brings you to wait. I believe Arcos, you sort of swing you wake up and you swing your feet out of bed and still find your feet still muddy from the previous night's nightmare. What you do with that is up to you. But you awake and read. Almost immediately upon waking, the sounds of the inn are deafening to you. The sound of food being prepared in the kitchen, a floor below, is like it's happening right next to you. It is so loud and so obnoxious, the clanging of pans and pots and frying pans. The sound of the fire burning below is deafening. The sound of your companions breathing as they take a breath in the morning, they yawn, all those noises are just echoing, a cacophony of sounds from within and without, just absolutely ringing in your head to the point where you have to close your eyes and cover your ears. It takes you probably a good 5 or 10 minutes to orientate yourself to this because it's new, it's just so loud. Jurek, you are awake as well. I'd say both Jurek and Arcos, you do notice Reed sort of cupping his head in his hands as he's trying to block out the noise that he's hearing. And yes, I can see the chat, you dirty bastards.
Oh, I'm not cleaning this shit up, and Arcos starts scraping the mud off his feet. I can imagine the sound of it is just the fucking worst for.
It would be horrible for Reed.
Probably burying my face into a pillow at this point, just like.
Do you ever like have a horrible sleep but feel like you've been asleep for like months? Terrible.
Yeah, once.
You look like shit, mate.
What happened with your sleep?
For me?
No, either of you.
My sleep was fine. Kind of. I mean, it's kind of normal here, it seems.
Yeah, but you really do look like absolute shit.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel it.
Must be that curse.
Yeah,
Hey?
puking up blood. It's great.
I dreamed I was outside and I must have not cleaned off properly. I mean, we had that bath though, didn't we?
Did we?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure many of you did bathe and clean yourselves up. It's been a month, guys. I can't remember everything, okay?
Yeah, it's been a long... Like I said, it feels like I've been asleep for a month. I can't even remember what we were doing. I remember we're stuck here. I fucking hate that. You're cursed. Ripple's cursed.
I slept okay, but felt like I was in another place for about 13 days.
A very specific amount of time.
Yeah, some foreign place along across the ocean.
Foreign place.
Man,
Lots of flashing lights.
Yeah.
it's very
many
bright
people.
and lots of people.
Nowhere to
here.
sit.
Yeah, there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
Lots of lining up. Um.
I
Anyway, we should
vividly remember
hurry.
chink, chink, chink. That's the sound that keeps coming into my ears.
You feeling any stronger?
Right now?
Yeah.
No.
No, Dan, you're
I think I
probably
have a
right.
headache.
You the sounds are still echoing in your mind, and yeah, you don't feel any stronger. If anything, you feel a little weaker in this moment because it is daytime, even though this place is a lot darker than most places. Like you feel like you just feel a little definitely a little off. Whether it's just because you're still feeling rather nauseous, or it's just the noise you're seeing. But as you look around the room, you tend to notice small things. The cobweb in the corner of the room, as you focus on it briefly, and it's like you automatically go into that tunnel vision and you focus directly on it. You can see it like it's right in front of you for a brief moment, and you sort of blink your eyes and sort of look away, and you look over at Arcos, who was talking about the mud on his bed sheets on his feet, and again you focus so close in on the mud itself, you can see the details of the mud, the twigs and grass that are caught within the fibers of the mud itself, and even the smell of it is very distinct to you. Like all the senses, just a bombardment of senses all of a sudden,
It's
and
like
it's
I'm on
really
Adderall.
overwhelming. Yeah, it's just really overwhelming. The sounds have settled. You've started to get used to that. It's not taking long, but now the sight it makes your eyes sort of feel a bit weird, to the point it makes you a little nauseous. You get a little bit swimmy sort of feeling, and almost that vertigo feeling in your mind. You sort of close your eyes and reopen them a few times until that, after a few moments, that adjustment is fine, and you come back to yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Arcos goes up to God, I've forgotten your name.
You got
Been a long
Reed
time.
and Jarik.
Go up to Reed, and like with his milky eye, he sort of like looks at you real close. He's like, "Nah, still looks fucking useless." And he slaps him on the cheek a little.
So we'll leave
We
you
should-
guys there
should
for a
go.
moment, and we'll switch over to the ladies' room. I'd say Orvan's probably the first to wake. She's had a fairly peaceful sleep. She wakes and starts dressing and gets herself organized for the day. Ripple, as you wake, again, you've gotten used to this heightened senses, especially the previous evening. Today, however, as the sun rises, you're a little sluggish. You're a little slow to rise than usual. The heightened senses are there, but just the light coming through the window kind of it's a pain to the eyes almost. You know how you step out of a night shift into like the bright sunlight, you're stepping out of if you're working in a factory under like fluoro lights, you step out into natural light, just that pang you get from your eyes stepping out into that natural light. That's what you get as you walk by the window, even though it's not a bright sunlight, it's not a bright sunny day, just that daytime light hits your eyes, and it causes you to almost recoil just a little, not hugely.
Oh, feel like I've been on the wine.
You kind of were a little bit.
A little bit. But the boys are awake, I can hear them.
You certainly can.
I will be looking at my crystal ball and saying, "Spirits of the morning, give me a tale," and I will roll my bonus action, my little bardic inspiration tales.
Indeed.
And then I will see Ripple, and I will say, "You look like... How do you feel?
Shit.
What do you think?" That's what I was... Yeah.
Yeah, she does look a
I
little...
mean, this glowy thing's pretty, but
Yeah, she looks a little pale. She looks a little pale. Her skin, or even though her skin's kind of that sort of blue-green of the ocean, But it's not as vibrant as it was the previous day, and that's something that you would definitely pick up on, Sarah. I mean, color's your thing, so a difference in someone's color would definitely stand out to you. So she's a little pale, nothing like hugely obvious, but there's definitely a slight difference there.
Have you thought about what you'll do if we can't find a cure?
Hopefully I won't eat you.
What would you like us to do? Do you want us
I honestly
to hang
think
you?
that if you can't find a cure, then you may have to kill me.
Not
At this
again.
point,
I mean,
Orvan cuts in quite abruptly, and I think this is probably something that Blackpool would probably do. I think Orvan would cut in quite quickly here and quite shortly and sharply said, "We will find the cure. In fact, there's a church in town. We must go there as quickly as possible. There is a cure. We will find it. I will not let anything happen to you."
Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate that. But seriously, if we can't, then
And she
I'm
cuts
a
you
danger
off.
to everybody.
She cuts you off again and says, "It will not happen. We will not let it get that far."
Okay.
So Orvan is very poignant about this. We will find the cure. There is a cure. I will find it, and we will help you. We will not let it get to that level where we have to hurt somebody. And I think at that point she would make murmurings about heading to the church as quickly as possible.
Do you guys want breakfast first? I'm not very hungry.
I'm not so hungry. I think we just get the fellows up and go. Get moving. After you. And I will wait. I will stay behind her.
I would say if I can hear the boys like they can hear me, then they're probably already in the corridor.
Yeah. So
As I hear her say that, I'd walk out the door.
Yeah, so by that stage, everyone would converge together. You would head down the, as you walked out of your door, you can look down into the inns. You would see there's a few people in this morning, 2 or 3 people sitting down and eating. You see Erwin sort of milling about, moving between the people that are there and back towards the kitchen. You walk down the landing and out the exterior steps, which lead you down to the front of the Blue Water Inn, which puts you back outside into Valaki itself. So this essentially, let's find let's put you back in Valaki. You step out into the Valaki itself, and again, there's not many people wandering around at this early in the morning. You're outside of the inn. The well's just outside of the front. It looks like as you sort of around the outside of the inn, there's a small stable attached to the back of the inn where people would have stabled their horses or carts or things like that if they had them. And there is a few people around, and Orvan sort of steps out and asks politely of a woman walking past with a basket. It looks like maybe linens or something in the basket clutched in front of her, heading towards the centre of town. Sort of politely asks the way to the church, and the woman sort of looks over sort of at all of you, and again, a really sullen sort of look on her face. Her eyes are sunken in, her hair's kind of pulled back in a messy bun, very plain clothing, drab colours. There's nothing overly colourful about a lot of the people here, and sort of looks over her shoulders and just says, "Church is that way, towards Eastgate." And without even smiling or saying thank you or anything, she just turns and carries on about her business. So, with that information, you start walking towards the western side of Valaki proper. You follow the street that you were pointed down, and again, many old houses. There are two-storied houses, single-story dwellings. Some have smoke, a wisp of smoke coming from chimneys. Others do not. Others look abandoned with boards on the windows and such. Takes you a wee while to walk this. It's a fairly long, motley cobbled sort of street / road. The cobblestones aren't evenly laid. They're kind of mismatched and easy to trip if you're not watching your footing. It's kind of motley all over the place. You do find as you reach a certain almost like a crossroads, is it like two roads leading off to your right and one leading to your left. You follow down the main road as you were instructed. And as you look down the right-hand road, you do see a number of larger houses that seem to be a little bit more ornate and a little bit more colourful, or they at least have a little bit more colour to them. Any discussion along the way as you head towards the church? It's going to take you a good sort of half hour, 45 minutes to get there. It's a pretty reasonable. It's a reasonable walk within this large town.
I walk up to Ripple and I'm like, so, what deity are you giving yourself over to?
What deity? I have a
I'm
genie.
going to church.
Oh no. I don't think my genie would like that much. Madara is his name. But I don't think I'd have to give myself over to a deity. And she's just kind of
depends on the
squinting.
church.
I guess it does. She's kind of squinting, trying to keep, sun out of the sun, the lots of sun out of the eyes.
The glowy
We might find a
thing
fix for
behind the
you here,
clouds.
Drake. And he Arcos grabs his dagger out.
Interesting.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have to keep him on his toes, or whatever they are.
Claws?
Probably claws is closer.
We
need a pedicure, man.
A wooden tavern.
Some people like to rattle their fingers on the table. I like to rattle my hooks or my toes onto the ground.
Toenail.
Yeah, he's sharpening his toenails on the cobbles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody had a bad back one time and they asked me to help them out, so I stood on their back and I didn't really help them out.
Shredded it?
Yeah.
Some people like that, I hear.
Are you one of them?
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Sayra,
You've tried it?
Yeah.
Did you cover your skirts, your colourful skirts and things up today, or did you leave?
I think while I'm in town, I will
assume,
be a grab.
I would assume that you would dress to match, knowing how most towns view the Vistani specifically and other gypsies. They're not generally welcomed in these areas. So I would imagine that you've hidden yourself. First roll of the night. We'll get a what are we going to roll here for this? Get a stealth roll with advantage, and this is just to see how well you've hidden your colours, whether you've been able to blend them in pretty well. Yeah, pretty good.
Oh, I thought that was.
I mean, you don't even need the
one.
advantage, but hover over the roll and hit the up arrow. We'll see what the advantage gives you.
Up.
No, 23.
I'll take 20.
So you've taken a bit more extra care to make sure that the colourful scarf and your skirts are hidden beneath a slightly more drab version. It's still nice clothing. It still definitely sets you out apart from the people here, but it's definitely you it's more browns and tans rather than the colour, the blues and the yellows and the reds that you would normally wear. So it's you've hidden yourself well, so you don't really garner too much attention as you walk through the town streets. Eventually, you start to see the spire of the church off in the distance. It's a reasonable sized building, from what you can tell as you sort of eventually draw yourself closer to it. Do I have a splash screen of St. Andrew's Church? I don't think I do.
I will say, who's going to be the spokesperson for this? Do we know what we're going to ask when we're?
It's
I mean, we've got to.
probably Orvan. No. Although she seems
I mean,
a little
aren't
bit.
we just telling them that we need to cure a curse?
I mean, I don't know if we should be like super honest about what's going on. I mean, churches make me feel.
I mean, don't you
icky,
cure a
but,
curse
like,
the
this-
same way?
I don't like churches either. No,
I'm sure I had one of the St. Andrew's Church, to be fair.
I don't think Arvan's doing so well today. I think like she's had a bad night's sleep, and you've commanded crowds of people. You could speak, probably. Yeah.
I absolutely could, but I also often have a habit of pissing people off. Or
Yeah, I can
dragons.
see that. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well.
I feel like church people are worse than dragons in some ways. Like,
Well, I try and
Like, they've
find a
tried.
picture of the St. Andrew's Church. I do have one of it.
I mean,
you're a pretty good talker too, so you could
yeah. Well, you know what happened with that marketplace person where they like kind of accidentally cursed them. So I don't know if it will go well. I have a temper.
accidentally.
No, maybe not.
Right.
I have a tendency to, yeah.
It'd be concerning if they just like went off on their own. So it's good to know you.
Well, it
prematurely curse something.
don't want to prematurely like let that go off. But our other choices are Ripple, Tariq, or Reed to talk. So
Yeah,
I mean, I could
good
talk.
point. You could also shut up. Yeah.
Fine.
do you know what we're asking?
Just listen really closely.
Listen very closely. I should say this in advance.
Easy
God's
ones.
sakes.
I mean, we just go up to them and talk, right? And tell them what's going on. And we need help. I mean, right?
I mean, I'm sure Orvan will be here shortly. She's
She's
well,
She's
she's
right
here.
there.
She's just not looking fantastic right now.
She's
Maybe she needs to
probably
puke
stalked
too.
off in front of you guys. Like, she's not walking with you at the moment. She's sort of just out in front, walking with purpose.
We'll let her deal with it because, she's there. See? There she goes.
we gotta.
Otherwise, I would have just gone up and said, I'm cursed, help. Help me.
I mean, that's the reasonable thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we be ready if they are not acceptable of a curse like this in a church in a city,
I feel
town?
like they're gonna know. They can't not know.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
that's
Yeah,
why
they
they're
might know.
that's why they work in the church, right? Because they can like
Oh, did anyone bring gold? Because sometimes
figure
I
out
like
and
gold.
help these people. Isn't that how it works?
I have gold.
Do we have the right kind of gold? I mean, they're pretty picky.
Oh no, they only like Swarovski crystal here. I hear.
Squawk who?
Swarovski. Swarovski
that one.
crystal.
See? There to see. Maybe this whole like
Wow.
thing that's happening to us is just bringing us on their level, Ripple.
I don't know. How are you feeling this morning, Reed? Are you okay?
I
You're
mean,
looking a bit peaky.
it's worse than yesterday, but better than last night. So
Okay.
Keep telling him to stop, but he can't keep his eyes to himself.
I mean, is that unusual?
Derek's often very handsy, so it would make sense that you're the voyeur.
What do you guys do in your room at night? I mean, it's not the same thing we do in our room.
Undress and sleep.
Don't tell him what we
Thinking
do in
about
our
that, and
room.
I really wish you would let me sleep in your room. I don't take up much space.
I mean, you
Says-
can.
Would not bother
Says the
me.
one with dirty feet in the morning.
Yeah, that's strange. I swear I washed them.
So, as you can see, as you approach, the church it's an older church, but it's a reasonable sized building with a church tower, bell tower at the rear of the building, high peaked roof in the front, single story structure. It is run down, and some of the fencing around the churchyard is falling down and rusted, and a couple of the gates are sort of hanging off on hinges. So it's definitely in a little bit of disrepair. But there is the sound of soft organ music coming from within the church, which would lead you to believe that there is people within this building. So Orvan, welcome. Just to give you a quick catch up, you've all woken up. Orvan, there was a discussion in the girls' room of what Ripple would like to sort of potentially have happen if a cure cannot be found, and she was talking about allowing the group to kill her, which I believe Orvan would have quite emphatically been against, and is now stalking towards the church to find a cure that you know exists. Because with the role that you had in the previous game, you definitely know there is a cure. It's just a matter of finding the ingredients that is needed and the recipe in which to create the cure, which you believe that in this area specifically, in this land, they have these supernatural creatures that they would know of, or at very least be able to give you some idea where to find the cure and or the ingredients. Because I believe your role in your religion check on the cure was a natural 20, so you are 100% certain that there is a cure and that you will find it. So you guys have asked directions, you've headed towards the St. Andrew's Church, you're now standing outside of the church building. It is an older building, it's run down a little bit, but it's definitely a church building. The sound of organ music, soft sort of organ music, can be heard from coming within. The symbol on the outside of the church is the symbol of the Morning Lord, which I believe Orvan is a religious figure. You would understand and probably have seen this figure before. It's an older deity. It's not one that is readily worshipped in Faerun, but it is one you've heard of. And the symbolism is quite clear on the outside of this church. So I'll turn it over to you guys. The discussion was who was going to talk to the people within the church, and I think Reed had been nominated, kinda, sorta.
Do I know the alignment of the Morning Lord as well?
You would. It's a good neutral alignment. Like, it's not a chaotic deity. It's generally the symbol of the sun and light and good. And you also notice that same symbolism's on the notices that are around town. The festival that's coming up, the Festival of the Blazing Sun, is a festival dedicated to the Morning Lord. So we'll turn it back over to the
Thank you.
group.
Well, I have full respect. Thank you, Reed. Enjoy talking to my common folk.
No. I mean, if you don't want to, that's fine. I mean, I could try, but like, maybe not let the cursed talk about the curse.
Yeah, that's okay. I will step in. It is fine. I will speak
Fuck.
with them.
I mean,
And
jeez.
look,
Fine.
I was just in my own little world just before. I think we probably should play this cool.
Wait,
Looking at you, Dill.
are we supposed to lie or something?
Yes, I don't think we should give out exactly everything for this particular situation. We do not
Should
know these
try.
people. We don't know if they like this sort of thing.
Also, morning, Lord. Not so good with mornings. I'm assuming you guys will be so, ironic.
I mean, when
I
is
think
morning
we'll
here?
just-
It always looks like crap.
Mm.
It's fair.
Maybe that's what they pray for. They just want the morning Lord. They want the morning to come.
Mm. Yeah, and lying happens in churches all the time. I think that's where people go to.
Wait, really?
Well, they go there to admonish their lies. So
Yeah, and then they pretend they're sorry and hope that it's going to be better.
Cleric.
Oh God, sir.
I said good day. Look, maybe we follow our lead and we'll just play it by ear. I'm sure they are neutral, so perhaps they will be totally cool with curing everything. Just on the chance that they not want to do that. we'll just see how it goes. Okay. I'm just gonna step towards the door confidently.
As you step towards the door and you push forward on the large double doors leading into this church house, and they swing open with relative ease. No squealing of the hinges. It's obviously been relatively maintained, even for an older building. And as you push through, you notice it's a good sized church hall. You've got several pews down, again, as normal temples and church buildings would be, pews on either side, a central thoroughfare down the center of the building leading towards a parapet or pew with religious iconography at the end of the thing, the symbol of the morning Lord above a altar, large stained windows at the rear of the building, allowing whatever sunlight is available through into this relatively darkened building. Candelabras with candles lit to give light in the other darker areas. And at the end, you see a relatively tall older man in priestly robes and clerical robes. He is talking to, it seems, to a bunch of children, perhaps young adults and children. There is another woman, it seems, with her back to you, and a relatively small pipe organ towards the back right of the building. And it's just, again, nothing too grand. It's been played very softly, just, again, soft sort of orchestral type music being played in the background as this man seems to be giving a speech or maybe just a general talk to these children. And he then makes a religious gesture, and he offers the children something as you walk closer, and he sees you and acknowledges your presence, gives you a slight nod, and carries on about it as what he's doing. And then his speech comes to a close, and then he dismisses the children. And sort of the lady gets up from the organ, moves with the children, and sort of moves the children off into another room, off to the left through behind another set of double doors, and they close behind her, and he then turns to meet with you at the front of the church. Good morning. You are strangers here. We don't get many foreigners in Valaki, but you are welcome to visit St. Andrew's Cathedral anytime you wish. You are religious in any way. Doesn't have to be Morning Lord, but you're welcome. Please, how may I assist you?
Oh, thank you so much for the welcome to the area. Sorry, we did not mean to like intrude. But we're actually after a healer.
It's fine. Children come for prayer and comfort from time to time, and forgive me. I have not introduced myself. My name is Father Petrovich. I am cleric here in Valaki and in St. Andrew's Church. You say you are looking for healer.
Yes.
What is your ailment?
Oh, it's just a malady that I'm also a cleric. Very lovely to meet you. Something that I am not equipped to deal with myself. Haven't really seen a lot of it. I'm not really sure. Like, it must be something to do. We're from a different country, obviously, but it must be something maybe you've seen quite a lot of.
And he glances around the group, and he takes he walks with a shuffled step. Like, he's not old, like he's not bent over and elderly, but he's definitely he's a human man, maybe in his 50s, early 50s. He's got graying hair tucked in behind, in his he's got like a clerical hood on. It's pulled slightly back so you can see his hair. Clean shaven, wrinkled, sort of sun-kissed skin. He's quite tanned, grey-green eyes, and he just kind of walks with a slight shuffle to his step, and sort of looks at you a little more closely as he sort of steps closer, and then starts sort of looking around the group. And as he looks around the group, his eyes fix on Reed for a moment, and then he stops and fixates on Ripple as well, and which is very telling. Like he sort of glances over all of you, but fixates on them both for a unusually long time before sort of shuffling back to his position. Hands inside his big long draped sleeves. His hands are inside the cuffs, and he says, "I believe I understand what you are talking about, and you are right to be guarded with your speaking of this, especially in open town. Like, you have made the right decision to come here and speak to me. If you please, would your friends take a seat, and can I examine them a little more closely?"
Ripple grins and sits down.
Does Reed take a seat?
A nod.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, I'm like, yeah, see, we should have told him, you know.
And at this point, another young man walks into the room behind the father and sort of leans in and speaks to sort of whispers in the father's ear, and he turns and says something back to him, and then he sort of walks out of the room. It's a younger man, dark hair, quite stocky, quite intense look on his face. Dressed in real basic clothing, but you get the impression he's probably either someone who maybe work in the churchyard or in the kitchen or something. Like, he has that kind of servant kind of look about him. And after a short time, he comes back with a bowl of some sort, and Father Petrovich, he grabs the bowl and he takes it's essentially anyone who's had any kind of alchemical teaching, so Ripple perhaps, Sire definitely, and Orvan, and probably even Jarik, you know what a mortar and pestle looks like. I mean, I'd say most of you do. You've probably seen one at some point. And he starts grinding some bits and pieces together, and then he sort of waves his hand, and a flash of light bursts from his fingertips, and then a wisp of pungent smelling smoke comes from this bowl. And he walks towards both you, Reed, and Ripple. And he just says, please, don't be afraid. This will not hurt you, but it may smell not nice for you. But please inhale deeply and try hold it as long as possible. And he walks
Arcos is
over.
like, could you heal this one first? He's always been quite weak. And I feel like he needs it more.
He ignores you, Arcos, and
Okay,
moves
suck.
to Ripple
It's okay,
and
Kim.
holds the bowl under your face. Do you breathe deeply?
Take a deep breath in.
And breathe in, and it burns the back of your throat to the point where you almost want to vomit. It smells like it's indescribable. It's not a smell that you've ever smelled before. It's horrible. It's pungent. It's really nasty. Reed, he does the same to you. Same thing. You get that it just hits the back of your throat, and you just want to almost vomit instantly. But you hold it as long as you can, and then you both start to cough and wheeze uncontrollably for a while. 2 or 3 minutes, you're just almost retching.
To the point, I know that feeling.
Yeah, you get to that point, you start to cough and almost retch. As you do so, the rest of you notice a slight change in their appearance almost immediately the moment they inhale it. The skin pales quite considerably. Reed's eyes pale, like the color of his eyes start to pale quite severely as well. And as Ripple sort of take that first breath and cough, and you sort of put your head back and to take a grasp of fresh air, you all notice that her teeth are sharpened, all of them, not just fangs, but a full set of sharpened teeth within her mouth as she sort of reaches and cops forward. And the father, sort of looking up and seeing the look of concern on some of your faces, just holds a hand up in reassurance and puts the bowl down and clasps his hand together. And after a short time, the coughing subsides, you come back to normal, and your skin color returns to normal, your eyes return to normal, Ripple, your teeth return to normal, although you still have you now have a slight predominance in your canines anyway. That started to happen. And he then looks at you all and says, well, I have good news and bad. Good news is I know exactly what is afflicting your friends. Bad news is it is quite serious, and it will only get worse if you do not find cure immediately. Luckily for you, I happen to know what you need to effect this cure. We have seen this many times within the lands of Barovia. This place is dark and full of strange things, supernatural things, werewolf, vampire, ghouls, things of such nature. And it appears that both of your friends have been afflicted with the curse of the vampire, the undead, the drinker of blood. You know what this creature is, yes? You have heard of such things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, we fought some.
We have been hounded by some.
So, you understand that you are both in early stages of this curse. It will take time. Shorter for some, longer for others, depending on what happens. If you consume blood of humanoid, it will progress faster.
Would rather
blood.
not get to that level.
To say
If we can.
but please, let me finish. If you are able to set your thirst with animal blood, perhaps, this may slow progress a little bit. but it will eventually take over. You will eat and kill your friends, and you will become undead and be under control of Prince of Darkness. But I can help. Give me one moment, yes? And he turns and shuffles away behind the parapet, and he starts going through a bunch of scrolls and parchments. And 20 minutes, half an hour goes by. He's just going through all this stuff, and eventually he stops and pulls out a dusty scroll, which I will post in the open chat of the Discord, so that you will all be able to see this. But he hands Orvan specifically a piece of parchment. I will also bring it up, and so you guys don't have to read it in there. I can bring it up in Foundry as well for you. So it's a piece of parchment. It's got, looks to be bloodstains on it. Hard to tell. It's an older piece of parchment. The writing is in a language you don't really understand, but he translates it for you as he's sort of reading it out to you. He writes a common translation under it. And he says, this is what you will need. This is what you will need to find to help your friends. You will need to collect several ingredients. 2 blades of bloodgrass, common in the Barofian swampland to west of here. But be careful around the ruins of a place called Bares. There's lots of old magic there. Bad magic, but you'll be okay if you are careful. 6 cloves of garlic, which you will find in any general goods store. 5 nightshade stems, found usually in heavy forested areas around Barovia, anywhere around Valaki, around the edges of the lake, perhaps. 1 drop of blood, willingly given from a non-human race, so one of your friends would be able to help. Probably, you definitely do not look like a human, pointing to you, Arcos. A drop of your blood would be perfectly sufficient. Maybe from this other one, as well, as he points to Zurich. This potion must be mixed and consumed at dawn's first light. You must also recite the Morning Lord's Prayer, which I will give you a copy of, as the Morning Lord will help guide and protect your friends in process. This is not guaranteed, however. There is margin for error, but very small. If you follow process exactly, and you mix right portion at right time and the right proportions, then your friends should be fine. Small chance they may have side effect, but not many. And he
In your
hands it to you.
opinion, though, how long do we have until this is permanent?
Again, the results vary from person to person. Depends on how willing they are to give in to smell of blood, and fresh blood will make it hard for them to resist. If their willpower holds, then days, weeks, months perhaps. If their willpower does not hold, however, could be as quick as a few hours. If they consume human blood, stages progress very quickly and makes it harder for them to resist the blood. When did they get bitten?
2 days ago? 1 day ago.
It
It was the
Yesterday?
previous day.
Yesterday?
Was the
It's
previous
yesterday.
Previous day.
Yeah, was the previous afternoon.
Like
So
before
it's-
noon.
At
Yes,
least
it's
3
like right
weeks
around noon.
ago.
Within
Well, 3
24
weeks.
hours.
Maybe a steak
Or
and heart now.
scoring 10
before
years
there.
ago.
I've been like this for a whole
Well, then
lot.
I'm sorry. Steak and heart is only way. But yes, so within
I'll show you a
within
steak.
yesterday, you have time. They are in very early stages. You will notice you'll have heightened senses. You will smell and see and hear things that you would not normally be able to. During day, you will suffer minor setback because of, even though we do not have much sunlight here in this land, it is constantly cloudy and foggy. You will still suffer adverse effects during the day. But at night, hey, this is plus side to this curse. At night, you'll have heightened senses. You'll be stronger, faster. However, you will also want to hunt and eat. And fresh blood is what you would crave. The blood of the living gives you life. But
this
you'll
common-
also be under control of Master.
Is this a common occurrence that happens frequently here? That you
Not
seem
so
to
much
be
in
well
Valaki.
knowledgeable.
I've been here a long time. It has happened many times. Many people fall to curse of supernatural creature. So we study. We find out ways to help. Werewolf is more common than vampire.
How do you feel about this master that's doing all this to everyone?
We do not anger him. He leaves us alone. Burgermeister here is paranoid and has festival every other week. Try to keep people happy and keep this beast at bay, but I fear it is in vain. But we do not question. He is in charge. So if you are here in 3 days, I suggest you come to a festival, because if you do not, you risk being put in jail.
So do we need double what's on this list?
Yes,
Or
yes,
will
that
this
is
work
for
for both of us?
that is for one. So you will need to have
Oh, we need double.
2 of each to make it. Yes,
Good to
you are
know.
correct. As I said, ingredients are relatively easy to find. The potion a little more hard to make. If you have some alchemical knowledge, it will probably help you when it comes time to make it.
Will
And
herbalism help?
it will help find the herb you need, of course, if you are familiar. It is not a hard thing to mix. You crush ingredients into a bowl, add a little bit of water to make it more of a liquid than anything else, and then pour it into a bottle or a bowl, or drink it straight from water and vessel if you wish. But it must be done at dawn's first light, as the first rays of sunlight hit the horizon, which is
So mix it and
harder
drink it straight
to.
away.
Yes.
Hmm.
It is hard to, a little hard to determine in this land these days. But
That was going to be my next question. When is dawn's first light here? Because it feels like it's very samey.
it is,
Light, then dark. Then dark, then light.
if you are here for a few days, you will figure it out.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
We do have days where
Yeah.
cloud is not as thick and fog is less. Not often.
How will we know if we mixed it right? If it's working?
Well, you see the eyes and the teeth as he sort of reaches forward, it doesn't just reach forward and grab your face, Ripple, but he reaches forward as if to say, may I sort of touch your face? And he pulls back Ripple's lips, and you can see the slightly elongated eye teeth. It's very predominant. You can see it quite clearly now. And he sort of pulls her eyelids down. You can see the discoloration in her eye color, which is evident even now. He says, this will definitely worsen. But if you mix right and the process works, this will reverse quite rapidly within 1 hour. It will not be painless, however, just so you know. The further along you are within the stages, the more painful it will be.
So tie them down and throw away the key?
You may have to if they are in late stages. But by then, you may have already lost an arm or a leg, or even your life. Because by then, they will be too powerful to control.
So we need to find these ingredients today, guys.
It all depends on
you
your
will.
will. If your will is
Certainly try.
strong, then you could go months, even years without a cure. Depends
Oh,
on
I'd rather get it.
depends on how strong your will is.
I mean,
was like,
quite strong.
Still
but would
today.
Still rather get it done sooner rather than later. I wouldn't want to risk my friends.
I do wish you good luck in your
I
endeavors.
think it'd be fine. Could you mark on the Jody? Can you get out that map? The swampland area.
So you take out
Wait,
the
did you
map.
get a map?
This,
Yeah.
you guys do have a map of this land. You found one.
Thank God. I was like, we have one.
And on the map, he does mark several locations. So he marks where the swampland, the best part of the swampland to find the bloodgrass, and it is in a place called Berez, which is quite a fair distance to the west. The nightshade stems, which are in the forest area, the whole of Barovia is forested. So any densely forested area, which there are many of those areas outside of Valaki itself, you would probably find the stems. It will take a little bit, of course, to find them. Like, they're not just everywhere, but they are in clumps around those sort of areas. Obviously, the garlic you can get from any general goods store, and the blood you can get from the group itself. Is anyone in the group an alchemist, by any chance?
Would I know anything from like family ties about potion making?
I would say
I don't
yes,
know.
because you definitely have some. You are tied to the Vistani. The Vistani have a history of potion making and selling potions. So I would say you'd have a relative understanding. You're not proficient by any means, but you do have an understanding of it.
I would at least know where we could go
Yes.
to have help.
You would indeed. You would know an alchemist or four within these lands, 100%.
Just checking, my herbalism kit has like pestle and mortar and pouches and stuff.
Yes,
pouches
you
and
do.
vials.
Yeah, you do have the ability with your herbologist kit to create. Yeah, you'd be able to find herbs and create some basic concoctions.
Yeah.
But this particular thing would probably be just a little outside of your skill. But
I don't think
will
I'm
certainly-
not proficient with it.
it will certainly not go against you to have herbalist skill. It means that your finding of these ingredients will be a little easier because you do have a herbalist.
Unless you become a rabid animal, and then we're fucked. But anyway,
Exactly.
Ripple is a rabbit animal anyway.
Oh, we already have a rabbit animal.
A rabbit
Yes.
animal, we do.
A rabbit animal, yes. I think Akos going to stab someone soon.
yeah.
Look, he's even wearing a
As long as it's
rabbit
not me.
t-shirt. I mean, come on.
No, it made me laugh. It hurt.
Yes, I'm a Mac.
Good.
So, with that, Father Petrovich wishes you all the best and gives you the blessing of the Morning Lord. And basically, may the Morning Lord keep and protect you. And asks if there's anything else you need.
Oh, I mean, is there any way to keep them from not coming after the rest of us? You know, these vampires.
Not really. As long as you do not bleed directly in front of them, you should be okay. Unless you are unless you have open wound in this stage, you are fine. Later stages.
Oh, sorry, not
eh,
not these guys. The full-fledged, the Dark Prince. You know.
well, I hate to tell you
protection?
this, but if you are here, it is probably because of his will. in which case you cannot escape him. He will find you eventually. Easier if your friends are vampires.
I mean, what? Oh, cool. Okay, cool.
Oh, you are not aware. I'm sorry. I thought you knew that if you are here in these lands, I am one of few people who understand this, which is why I stay here and stay hidden as much as I can. If you are here in these lands, you have been brought here for purpose. Cat and mouse game. You are mouse. Master is cat.
That does not strike either.
One of you may be strong enough to take his place, perhaps. Or not. He will determine that in due time. If you are looking for escape, some escape by winning game. Others escape. Well, death is not escape. Death is curse for this place. If you die here, you stay here. You've seen much of dead, perhaps, in Birskar, or at least heard of it.
Yeah, fuck that.
Those
That was terrible.
souls that march from graveyard to a castle. They were like you. Once. But they did not make it out.
I really don't want to die here.
Oh.
Yeah. Important quest. We should go. It's been lovely. Really, it has. Even with the slow speaking. But we should go. Thank you. Thumbs up.
I am sorry to bear bad news, but I am also one to tell truth as much as possible. But if you are in need of
I
aid,
appreciate that.
please come back. I will help where I can. I have helped others, some have escaped. Not many, however. I try to atone for this as much as I can.
Negative truth is better than a positive lie.
This is wise words.
Arcos is leaving. He's like that old man on the corner that has to talk to you for hours. I'm like, no, our players are dying. We don't have time to talk to you while you
Good.
slowly exposition.
Thank you for the help.
I have just one more thing to say.
One more
I ran out
thing.
of Arcos.
Just remind
just
me
like-
of my wife.
Just a minute. Please come back.
I'm so lonely.
Your extended warranty has run out.
No, we fully appreciate everything you have let us know about. And for this cure too. I mean, we'll keep it under wraps as much as we can. Is there there's nobody else we should avoid to tell this sort of stuff to?
Keep to yourself as much as possible.
All right.
Safer this way.
No panic at the
Sorry, I'm just like, okay, and so I brought you some tea, and I brought you some coffee, and like, here's some cakes, like, oh, little old man. All right, anyway,
Little blanket.
adios.
Yeah.
I thought Arcos liked carrots.
Wait,
I
what?
don't think it's
Oh,
it's really
Oh,
old, man.
I mean, they're both old, so
to bed for the Jesus.
I mean, Arcos is old.
So, one thing I do need to get from everybody is a perception roll, please. At the mention of the swamps of Berez, I need everyone to make perception. Sierra, with a natural
Got it.
20. Look at that.
Wait, are we doing this based on sight? Or
So for those, Ripple and Reed, you will be at disadvantage on these.
okay.
Although Ripple was already a 6, so I don't think you need to roll again unless you get a natural 1.
Cool. Did not
Someone roll.
control.
You rolled a private roll. You need to change it to
Oh.
public.
Yeah, that's because I was doing something. Is it control for that?
Alt, I think, is control for advantage. Control for
Disadvantage is
yeah.
control.
Alt is advantage, yeah. So, so that tracks. So 9 and 6, you guys don't pick up on it. Orvan, I think, is probably a little preoccupied with the cure, so probably doesn't pick up on it either. But Yurik, Arcos, and Saira. Saira is probably the first to twig. At the mention of the swamp of Berez, your mind is cast back to your encounter with Madame Ava and the card reading. You focus on that memory for a moment, and I'd say Arcos as well, even with a dirty 20, and Jarek with a 16. That encounter with her comes up, and you think about what she said about the very first card she pulled during the card reading. Even though Arcos, you probably have taken no stock in this whatsoever. This is all mumbo jumbo to you. You've dealt with soothsayers and all that sort of stuff. You travels as a pirate, and you weren't really paying much attention during the reading anyway, from memory.
Arcos is very superstitious. He just puts on a front as if he thinks it's bullshit.
So you definitely remember that the card was the enchanter's card, a woman with crystal balls and that on the card, and what she said was, she sees a woman kneeling, a rose of great beauty plucked too soon. The master of the marsh knows of whom I speak. Those words ring through all of your memories. And even though she didn't mention the swamp of Berez specifically, as you look at the map, trying to determine whereabouts in the swamp you need to go, you can see the ruins of of Berez, and written very lightly underneath across the river, it's the marshes of Berez is quite lightly written just below the river line. So that correlation rings with you guys specifically. Definitely with you, Saira. So Saira, as you have ties to the Vistani and natural 20, and you also have ties to the cards and to the spirits and mysticism, the Master of the Marsh holds in your memory Burgomaster Laszlo Ulrich comes to your mind. A history triggers. Laszlo Ulrich was the mayor / burgomaster of the township of Berez many years ago, before a torrential rain and flood destroyed Berez, killing almost everyone in the village of Berez. And Laszlo Ulrich was one of those killed. Rumor has it that the spirits of the inhabitants of Berez still linger in the marsh, in the township, which is virtually non-existent. There's still ruins there. Obviously the river's still there, the marshland. It's all marshland now, just nothing but swamp and marsh. But there has been stories that Laszlo has been seen in and around the churchyard and around his old mansion, the burgomaster's home. And now that you think about it, there's a statue somewhere in Berez of a woman kneeling, which again just triggers all sorts of alarm bells for you about this card and about what Madame Eva said to you.
So I think with the nat 20, I'm gonna do the full fingertips together pose, like I'm having a vision, and like the whites of my eyes are gonna go up right in front of Arcos, and I'm gonna start saying everything you said. I'll start with the whole card reading, and then I'm gonna go through the history, and I'm gonna do it in this whisper.
So
and then
what comes through for you is Madame Ava's interpretation of this card. This tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. that part is very clear.
And I'm gonna say all that, and then I'm gonna go like snap out of like, oh, well, that's where we need to go, Arcos. The spirits have spoken.
There's which ones? The good ones?
But it's supposed to help us. They're going to help us.
It didn't look like you were being helped. You looked like you were.
Oh no, that's helpful. You don't want to see it when they're not nice. It's not pretty. It's very messy.
Right at the end there, it looked like rigor mortis had set in. I was really worried.
You know, it's all part of it.
I need to talk to you about that later. Maybe not now. I'm kind of weirded out. But we'll circle round.
We've got to get Rick to write it down. We need a yeah.
Don't trust Tariq. He writes things down wrong. He can't even spell. We saw that letter.
He loves. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yep. Read. Oh
Yep.
no, he looks like death.
Maybe we head to the general store because this says we need something from the general store. That's probably closest. And then I'll write it down as we go. There.
Hey.
Is Arvon still talking to the old man? We gotta get her out of there. Come on.
No, you didn't miss anything. Well, you kind of did, but you weren't privy to it anyway because you had a low roll.
Sayer is possessed. Come help me, Arvon.
Oh, and then if you just like mix these together, it'll just be like a really cool potion. Oh wait, what? What? Oh, sorry. Okay.
He's
Lord,
old,
I'm
Arvon.
with
There's
you.
no cure for that.
What's happening? Possession. And just like walks out of the doorway.
It's 9/10 of the law, I've heard.
So you leave the church armed with some new information and a potential cure for your friends, some direction, and now with this recognition from Sora, Jarik, and Arcos, you have potentially another avenue to maybe get some more information, leading you towards the swamps of Berets. So, what are you gonna do? What's first?
To the general store.
To the general store.
Right.
Garlic, yes.
Yeah,
So
let's not piss this one off.
So you know that
You
the
know,
general
yeah.
goods store is right
Read,
in,
excuse me.
it's right by the eastern gate when you
wasn't
first
me.
came in to Valaki. So you head back across town. As you come through the center of town, you do see a couple of things, in fact, as you come back through Valaki proper. So we'll head back over to this. As you're heading back past this part of town where the fountain is and there's a few people milling around, you do spy a more regally dressed man and woman. They are accompanied by a very large individual. I need to find my Valaki. Here it is. Let's see if I can find who I need to show you. So, you see these individuals. I mean, it's a very weird looking picture. They're not as kind of creepy looking as that, but they're regularly dressed. A very tall woman, tall thin woman, and again, an older, maybe 50s, early 60s perhaps, and with them either side, two large mastiffs. But also with them is another very large individual, and when I can find him, I will show him to you. But he's about 6'8", very broad-shouldered. He's got one hand is hidden under his clothing. I don't know that I have his image here. I should do. Yes, I do. Is that him? Nope, that's not him. Where the fuck is he? Yes, I do have him. He's the one with the axe in that picture. So he's a very large, bald individual, very tall, furs around his shoulders, leather armor. His battle axe is slung across his back, but the hand that you see on the axe there, you can't see. It's hidden under his clothing. So he just looks like he's walking normally. Very intense looking individual walking with these people. As what you do see with other people in town is they give them a bit of a wide berth, a half pie bow as they pass, and you get the impression that this is probably the burgomaster of Valaki and his wife, and probably a bodyguard. That's the vibes this large human's giving off as security or bodyguards. And they seem to be walking through the center of town. They've got big smiles on their face, trying to be as happy as possible, but you can tell, even just by looking at them, that they're not genuine happiness. It's forced. It's not something that they genuinely believe. It's so noticeably forced. It's not funny. So they don't acknowledge you. They sort of walking around town. They speak to an individual. At one point, you hear from behind these people a man, "Down with the burgomaster!" And almost immediately, the big dude spins on his heels, reaches for his axe, and his hand comes out from under his cloak, and you see a deformed hand. It's large. It looks like it's almost been melted, but it's 2 or 3 times larger than a regular hand would be. And as he sort of reaches out and balls it up into a fist, pointing it towards this person that's just called out, it starts to glow in a radiant sort of red-orange glow, and then it releases a ball of flame about the size of a basketball towards this individual, striking the individual in the chest, sending him to the ground, like his clothes singed. It doesn't kill him or anything, doesn't do any major damage, it seems. Whether it was intended to or not, you're not entirely sure, but it drops him to the ground and sort of skids him along the ground as he surges forward with his axe. Brings the axe down and levels it against the dude's throat as another couple of Valakian city guard swarm onto the situation, 2 or 3 of them very quickly from different sort of side streets. They pick him up and drag him away down an alley, and quickly. Like, the burgomaster and his wife seem to sort of turn and look, a little bit of shock, but then go back to what they were doing quite quickly. The fake smiles ensue, and they keep walking around. You see, as you look around this scene and other individuals in this town square, they sort of head down, keeping to themselves and keeping themselves hidden, no one wanting to speak out or come to this man's defense. It seems that this particular individual has done something that you just shouldn't do in this town. How do you guys react in this situation?
I prod Arcos in the side and just whisper, "Did you see the way that those people
You don't
react?"
actually have to whisper.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Probably. Did you
Shout in my ear.
did you see the way the burgomaster and his wife reacted? It's like they didn't expect him to do that at all.
Yeah, people in power often don't think people dislike them, maybe? We should do nothing about that. And he sort of like looks
No.
at you all slowly.
No, I don't think they're in control of this at all. I'm looking at I'm sorry, I heard ham when you said hand. The dude with the hand.
And
Yeah, no, I figured that out.
The dude with the Christmas hand.
Pulls out a hand. What?
it's a giant flaming hand.
Ow.
Steamed
But yeah.
hams. Haha.
Like,
Burgermeister. Haha.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Burgomaster
not
Chalmers.
okay. What's that about?
Let's
No
not
freedom
find
of
out.
speech here. Okay, let's carry
It's a
on.
hamburger.
Ripple, yes.
Maybe don't say that out loud as well.
We're looking for.
That's why I was whispering.
Stage
Whisper
whisper.
quieter. Maybe telepathically in your own brain.
So as you choose to do nothing and continue on with your journey towards the general goods store in Valaki, taking note of the situation but doing nothing. Perception checks, please. Once again. Dill and Ripple at disadvantage, if you please. Dill, Reed and Ripple at disadvantage.
I'm just looking at the dogs. Can I pet that
Actually
dog?
Pet that
can't do any
dog.
worse than a 7 and
No,
got a 7.
It's not bad. So we've got Tariq, Sierra, 9, 11, 2. Arcos with a dirty 20. Arcos is probably the only one. So Arcos, you notice an individual standing with his arms folded, leaning against a building, sort of away with what's just happened, but he's back, but he's definitely watching you guys. And as you catch his eye, or as he catches your eye, should I say, he sort of gives you a bit of a nod and sort of tips his head back towards him, say, hey, come here. Big, heavy set man, wearing a leather apron, dark trousers and a dark linen shirt. You know what a blacksmith looks like. You've seen many blacksmiths in your time. He's got heavy set arms and forearms, definitely looks like a blacksmith, but it's soot around his face and that, but he's sort of motioning for you to come over to him as subtly as he possibly can.
Yeah. So Arcos will look at the rest of the group and realize they have no idea.
Nope.
And he's like, all right, guys, in the spirit of group continuity and friendliness, that guy over there, he wants us to follow him, and usually I'd be like, fuck that shit, and I realize none of you have noticed him, but I thought, do you want to go follow that guy? He looks very keen and blacksmithy.
I mean,
What guy?
Yes.
I was looking at dogs.
blacksmith.
There's a guy.
Does he
Wow.
sell garlic?
I mean, blacksmith is my people, so
Actually, I didn't know that they were people.
Blacksmiths.
I mean, I want to follow that guy, but
So
I mean,
just to give again, now that Arcos has brought it to your attention, this is who you see with his arms folded, sort of leaning up against the wall, sort of again trying to catch
File
your
not
attention.
found.
it's
Does it come up?
not-
File not
EXE
found.
followed up for 404.
Really?
It's a little ripped document.
It's a
What
little
a hot
white.
I
blacksmith.
can see it. What the hell? Is that definitely not coming up? That's so weird.
Nope, same thing.
Hang on. That is
he's
odd.
not hot. I'm gonna feel stupid.
Looks like a broken floppy disk.
Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can find the picture again.
It's terrible when your floppy disk breaks.
I mean, if you could break one, I'd give you props.
I'm sure it happens to everybody. It's alright.
That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Old age will do that.
I
Yeah.
have pills for that. It's fine.
It's a curse, we need-
Broken, if it's not working, it's one thing. If it's broken, that's a whole other story.
Real curse.
The real curse of straw.
Yeah. Impotence.
Come on, guys.
No wonder he's so
Jesus
angry.
Christ.
Stop making me laugh.
Amazing.
Where's my
That's
save
why he wants
button?
people,
He
to
wants your
increase
blood
the
pumping,
genetic
so he can-
pool, right?
He wants your blood pumping so he can get it hot and ready.
I wonder. Actually, I wonder.
Oh,
Why won't
Gonna
that
mute
say?
now.
high fantasy Little Caesars.
Fuck you guys. Oh, there it is. Right, try this one. Does that one show up?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go one better. I'll put it in Discord. It might be the file.
Does Foundry only take particular fire?
No, it should be like because I can see it. Like it's definitely in
Is
there
it up
because I
on
can see
stream as well?
it. No, I can put it up on stream, but it's probably as easy just to send it to you guys in Discord. Right, in the Discord.
Oh.
Did that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd follow him.
Oh.
I mean, it kind of looks like what's the
In
dude from
the Land of the
Last
Lost chat,
Joel.
Sarah. Then in the text chat in the Land of the Lost.
Yeah, we're following. Sarah's
Yeah, we
following.
are. Absolutely.
Want to touch the honey?
So
Ripple
because
slaps Sayra's hands.
what we'll do here, chat, because the chat, the players can see us. I'll show the chat just so they can see. So this
All
is
in
what
black,
this is
you
what they
say?
see. So
But he's all in black.
Covered in
he's,
soot.
he's in
not
dark
covered in
trousers and a
snow.
sort
he's
of linen
dirty.
shirt, but he's definitely a burly blacksmith. So as you move over towards him, he leads you down a small alley away from where the burgomaster and his wife and the dogs and that are, and he sort of looks over your guy's shoulder to make sure that you haven't been followed, and he simply sort of says to you, "Greetings, my name is Ivan Lukresh. I am blacksmith here in Valaki. You are adventurers, yes?" And he's just really like looking over your guys' shoulders as he's talking to you.
Nod. Yes.
If you
Yeah,
can call us
adventurous
that.
enough to follow a strange man down a dark alley. Yeah.
After
Can
dark,
I-
come and find me at my smith. Not now, too risky. But come after dark, and I have things that may help. I have helped people
Is,
before, like you. Quickly, we do not
Is
have
it
time.
Misty here?
What do you mean?
What?
Oh no,
It is
sorry, I was
misty
talking
every
to
day.
Steve.
DM.
That was
It's
above
foggy
table.
every day.
Live just down the corner.
She
It's
might be
misty
moist.
everywhere.
I don't know, man.
It is foggy every day. Like this whole place is foggy all the
Oh
time.
no, I'm just thinking I'm going to fucking shake water into a little ball of water in my hand and flick it at Sayera and tell her to cool down.
I'll allow
Do you
that.
mean
Control water culture.
Tonight?
Control water. Yeah,
As in-
control water. But he
That's
just
the
says
bugger.
like he said, and he's in like he sees it's like in hushed. He's not speaking out loud. He's in hushed tones, and he's constantly looking over your guy's shoulder to make sure he's not being they're not being followed or looked at or whatever. And he just says, "Find blacksmith, find smith, southern end of town, later tonight, after dark,
tonight?
after dark, safer. Make sure you are not followed. I will know, but come, I will help. You are cursed, all of you. I can help you find the way home. After dark." And he turns and just spins on his heels and takes off down the alleyway. Doesn't run, he
Not
just
sure whether to
moves
take-
quickly.
Not sure whether to take that as a compliment or an insult.
Can I incite him?
I'll take it as a compliment.
So, what you see in that picture is he's in his mid-40s, salt and pepper, short cropped hair, strong, like he's quite tall, strong arms, shoulders. He's worked a forge his whole life. You can tell that just by the way he's built. And again, that short cropped salt and pepper beard as well. And he seemed, I mean, you want to roll insight to see if you believe him, up to you, but he seems pretty on the level, just in his general demeanor. Again, Reed and Riffle will be at disadvantage on any of these rolls because it is daytime.
I have advantage on insight, so
So it'll be straight roll.
Insight, you say?
oh,
Which
Insight,
one's
yes.
insight?
The one that says
I'll
inside.
roll it again.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The one
got
that
you.
says inside.
The one that says inside? Let's try that one.
Well, Sawyer believes anyway. She's a bit misty-eyed at this hunky blacksmith.
Well, fuck me.
So she believes him 100%. Reed, you believe him, no, without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, yeah.
Jarek, he's definitely seems to be on the level. You've dealt with a lot of people and he doesn't seem to be deceptive in any way. I'd say all those roles, everyone believes that he's on the level. So whether you decide to go visit the blacksmith after dark is completely up to you. But that is an option you now have. You continue onwards to the general goods store, the Aristek yards, begin at the western gates of Valaki. You enter inside, it's just a general goods store. There's lots of bits and pieces, there's candles and rucksacks and picks and shovels and lanterns and all sorts of things. It's just a general goods shop. Easy enough to get what you are requiring to get. We don't need to RP this. The shopkeep is kind of like the rest of the people in Valaki, kind of sullen, no color, no real emotion. You ask for the garlic that you require for this particular cure that you're attempting to put together, and easily enough you're able to acquire for very little cost, so little cost that it's not even going to really matter too much to your gold in this. So you acquire the 12 cloves of garlic that you require for this potion without any hassles at all. It's now up to you what you do next.
How much are the candles?
The candles, they're all, depending on what type of candle you're looking at, just standard candles, you've been looking at like literally copper and silver for these. So again, if you wanted to grab a couple of candles or a few candles, don't worry about the cost. It's not a huge deal.
Okay, I'll do that.
And again, if you're wanting to add stuff to your inventory, you can use control space to get your quick insert bar, type it in and drag it into your inventory. So for example, candles, control space, type in candle, and then drag a candle into your character sheet.
I'm gonna look at the group and I'm gonna ask, do we have like a mortar and pestle or vials to hold this liquid in, or?
I do. I have a herbalism kit in my pack.
Yes, so
Okay, so we're
Ripple has everything you need to create the potion, indeed.
Unlike the other guide, does this one have potion-y business here too? Nothing.
Not really. No, this is just a
goods?
basic general goods store. So a lot of basic adventuring gear, like sleeping bags, tents, just real basic stuff, real mundane things.
Rope?
Rope.
Links of rope, just basic, not silken rope or anything like that. Nothing flash. It's just real basic links of rope. The one thing it's not 50-foot links of rope. However, it's probably more like 25-foot links of rope. So, and they're not great rope. It's serviceable, doable, but you wouldn't want to go rock climbing with it.
I look around the group and I start counting if they have enough shovels, because I want to try and encourage everybody to start digging.
I would say out of the whole group, you would be the only one with a shovel.
That Jareek wants
Why?
one of us to smack him over the head with a shovel.
You would be the only one that carries a shovel. I would say, Jerry, just to be fair.
Yeah, so I'm looking to see if he has 5 more shovels.
There's definitely shovels there. Again,
I think
not great shovels. They're not the best at all. They're very basic.
How is Arcos going to shovel?
You never know when you might need a good shovel.
Yeah, but he doesn't have enough weight to shovel with.
Need like a little garden trowel.
You need leverage.
To be fair, Arcos is probably bigger than Reed.
I mean, I'm not tiny.
And
How's
more
Reed gonna
useful.
shovel?
I mean, he's been weak the entire time.
Yeah, but I can get
Arcos has
big.
his feet. He doesn't need a shovel.
That's why his feet were dirty. He was digging in the dirt.
Possibly.
Yeah, sure.
Tell us something you didn't tell us before.
Wait, what? What's this about? Duh?
What?
Why are you digging in
Quit
the
looking
door?
at me, you're creeping me
no.
out, Drake.
Are you doing a bit of archaeology on the side?
Yeah, it's my side gig. I'm taking over. Watch out.
Well, I can give you
Um,
some tips.
I've had
Good
enough tip from you.
Oh, you
And he's
do
like,
What do you do in that
fuckers.
room?
Please let me stay with you guys.
I
I've had,
sleep.
You
I try to sleep.
Oh, you guys crap.
Sorry,
me
I
up.
have a dirty mind. I don't want to soil
Hey.
myself.
Oh, God's sakes.
We've got
are
history.
you? Yeah.
So Ripple has like an alchemist kit.
Herbalist.
Yes. Herbalist
Would
kit,
this
yes.
store have an alchemist kit?
Yes, they would.
Arcos would purchase one for his cunning plans.
So an alchemist kit will probably run you about 5 gold, because there is a reasonable amount of gear in it. So that will definitely run you a little bit.
Alchemist supplies.
Yes.
Do you have any gold, Captain? Because I know you gave me some to look after for you.
Yeah, I have some.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've been
alchemist
burying it,
supplies.
that's what
It'll
I've been doing.
yeah, just put it down as alchemist supplies, which gives you everything you generally need anyway. Obviously not proficient at it, so rolls will be without proficiency, but you can add that to your inventory.
Yeah, and I will. Cool.
We'll switch over to this map because this is roughly where you guys are at on this map.
Where was the church on this map?
Church is all the way to the left-hand side of the map, so it's right on the outskirts of town, towards the eastern. Where are we? Is my map? Western gate. You guys are on the eastern side of town at the moment. So the
have
Blue
we
Blue
done
Water
all our
Inn, for
shopping?
reference, is essentially in the centre of town, roughly there. The blacksmith has given you directions to his shop, which is roughly on the other side of the Aristek stockyards, which is where you are at the moment.
The hero will say, so I guess we need to find out if we can get to the swamp or the forest before night to visit this guy, or
Forest
I
should
mean,
be outside.
Yeah.
Do
I mean, the
we
forest
have
you
like
can,
a map?
the forest
to
you can
fish
do.
study?
You would know the forest outside of Valaki would be easy enough to find the nightshade stems. That would be the easy
it's
thing.
also
You
probably-
also know that to get to the swamps of Berez, you're looking at a reasonable hike from Valaki. They are. I gotta remember where the hell they are. To be fair. They are. Yeah, there'd be a reasonable distance. So you'd be looking at getting down past the bottom of the Luna River. So which is at the, yeah, probably looking at a couple of days travel.
oh, okay.
Actually,
So maybe that's our last ingredient?
I could probably give you a bit more information on that in a second.
Outside of blood.
We could do forest, blacksmith, then swamp.
Swamp. And
Forest
blood.
blacksmith, start swamp tomorrow.
Yeah, get there. Well, start the trip to the swamp. I mean, that's kind of good because that will be when we're most likely to be persuaded. If that makes sense. we'd be higher.
So I've got to remember where the
not
swamps of
having
Berez
blood.
are.
That stuff.
Susceptibility.
So yeah, if we do the easy stuff and then get away from town, as it gets worse, it's safer for others.
If you guys want to do that.
I think we should do the forest in the daytime.
And we might hopefully
Okay,
don't have to
so
deal with,
it'll take you approximately a day and a half to get to the swamps of Berez. It is south along the Luna River from Valaki. So if you go out of the western gate in Valaki and then follow the Luna River, it's about a day and a half travel along the Luna River.
So forest next, I guess, is still daytime.
tonight,
Yep. And then
in the morning head for the swamp.
Yep.
And possibly stay up all night after that, waiting for daybreak.
Take it in
Well,
turns
we
to
can-
sleep.
We can use the next night, 2 days, to figure out when the dawn is, at least.
Mm.
We can try.
Definitely take it in turns, and even maybe cross reference, cross check, have two different groups do that.
Get all technical.
Climb a tree.
So,
Yeah.
plan is to go to the forest then, I take it. By now, you're probably heading towards around midday. By the time you sort of walked around, done the church, come back and walked to the other end of Valaki, you're looking around midday-ish. You've got, from what you can gather so far, probably a good 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours of sunlight left before the sun will set. Days seem to be fairly short in this land.
The
Let's
forest.
get there before the night.
To the forest.
In
Into
the
the wood.
forest. So you, the easiest gate to leave from will be the eastern gate, which you are closest to. So following the road, you head out of town, and the gates are open during the day. You know that you need to get back before nightfall, otherwise the gates will be closed, and the chances of returning to Valaki after sunset will be a lot more difficult, if not impossible, because of how fearful they are of werewolves and such. And they tend to lock the gates at night and keep them locked. So you've still got a few hours. Which way are you going to head once you leave the gates? Are you going to head north towards the lake, to Lake Zarevich, the forested area to the north, or are you going to head more southward?
I think so.
So, southward looks closer.
It's all pretty relative.
We know that I'm pretty sure we know that the Vistani are down there. So if we run into them,
You do know that there is a Vistani camp in
So
the
they may
forest
able-
somewhere
may
south.
be able to-
Yes,
they may be able to help us find it if we run into them. So
this is entirely possible.
it's an idea.
So, southward, you turn, you leave the road and head into the forest. We will change map once again. And we will gonna find the map that I need. That one there. Activate. So you head southward into the forest. You travel for about 30-40 minutes. You're now in a relatively thick forested area. I will need survival checks from everyone to start hunting for the stem of the nightshade plant in which you're looking for. Ripple, you would normally be at advantage, but however, because of your current state, you will be a straight roll. Reed, you will be at disadvantage, however. Lots of good rolls there. So I would say with Ripple's knowledge of plants, and nightshade's a fairly common plant in most places. It seems to be relatively common here in this land as well. So with Ripple's description of what this plant looks like given to you all, you'll fan out not too far. You still remain visual with each other. You don't want to lose each other in the fog. You start to look for these particular plants, and they're a relatively easy plant to find. They're a relatively bushy plant. They have blackberries on them, which you know you're not supposed to eat. They're quite poisonous. They have a small white flower, broad green leaves, and they have quite a thick stem on the flowered part of this particular plant, which is what you need. With an 18 or 22, anyone above 12 is going to be pretty good on this. So Reed, you got no clue what you're looking for. Is this it? No, that's not it. Or is this it? You pick random plants, have no clue, but you just sort of, and in the end you just give up. But the rest of you managed to find several smaller plants that won't service. The stems are too small, it seems. But then you find a good size grouping of nightshade plants. And with Ripple's knowledge of herbalism, you are able to harvest enough nightshade stems to do what you need, which I believe is you needed 5 nightshade stems, so you need 10 intact nightshade stems. Just roll a quick herbalism roll for me, just a straight roll, Nutty. This is not about how many you get, it's just about how well you do with getting the size stem that you know you need for this.
What would I roll for that? My kit?
Yes, just your herbalist kit. It's not terrible. 10.
Ugh, not bad.
That's
Not
all you
good.
needed. That's all you need. So it takes you a little while. You do screw up a couple, but you manage to get the 10 stalks that you need, the 10 stems of this nightshade plant, and you safely. Who are you giving them to hang on to them? Are you hanging on to yourself, putting them with your kit?
I'll put them in my kit.
Okay. So to ensure that they stay relatively pristine, you put them within your herbalism kit. You are relatively confident you have what you need for the first part of this particular potion.
You think it's wise that we take a couple more in case
Probably.
someone else?
Actually, that is not a silly idea.
You can do that easily enough without a roll. So I will say
We don't have to roll, but you do.
no. I'd make some rolls. I would say that with that you get an extra 5, just to be, so it gives you a few extras just to compensate, just in case. As you are picking these, you hear the sound of footsteps in the trees in the undergrowth close to you, and as you do so, can I get someone to roll a d6 for me, please? One. First, I'll take the first one. So, and you're probably better with the first one than the last one. Just saying. And just randomly, an individual steps, a human, by the looks of it, steps out from the trees in a relative state of undress. Young man, maybe in his 20s, early 20s, relatively good looking, but he has visible scratches on his body. Nothing too major, nothing too serious, but he has on, like he's covered, like he's not completely naked, but his pants that he's wearing are pretty well torn to shreds. There's not really too much left of them, but he's got no shirt on, his hair's a mess, he's covered in dirt, he's got scratches and stuff, and he just sort of flexing his neck as he comes through the trees, and as he arches his back, you hear the audible cracking of his spine as he does so, and he sort of looks at you and, morning, forgive me, what a night, and he just carries on walking. Do you do anything?
I don't even think it's morning anymore. What the hell?
Morning?
Bleeding.
Morning,
Are you
afternoon.
alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Whew. And he just carries on walking.
Did you sleep out here?
Sleep, I'm not sure. Possibly.
Do you remember any of last night?
Lots of running.
Oh,
Not
no.
much else.
I inside him.
You can.
That's just a straight roll because I have advantage,
Yes,
right?
it'll be straight roll for you, yes. Yeah, seems to be telling the truth.
You out
I
here
just-
training for a run?
I
or
just
you
need to get back home. I'm heading this way is Valaki, right? I seem to have lost my bearings a little bit.
No, it's
It's
that
the-
way. Like,
Yeah,
you lying?
specifically
that
pointing
way.
in the opposite direction.
yeah.
Really?
Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
He sort of looks at you and goes, crap, I've been moving the wrong direction. Thank you very much. And he turns and starts heading the way you give him. Like he's not, doesn't seem to be concerned or worried about whether you give him the right or wrong information. And he stubs his toe on a root, swears, and sort of jumps on one foot for a bit and then carries on. Anything else before he disappears into the trees? Fucking hell, Ed. You know nothing.
Yeah.
Not untrue. It probably is a dog.
Heavy petting is probably not appropriate. You'll get fleas. That's good.
So no one says anything else and before he disappears into the trees?
Good luck on your journey.
That's for done, yeah. And he carries on. And after a short time, the sound of his footfalls disappear as well. And he disappears into the trees. So, mid-afternoon in the forest, you've collected your nightshade stems, the first part required for the cure. What's next? Heading back to Valaki, I assume?
Yeah,
Let's go
depending
back.
on what time of the day it is.
It's mid-afternoon. You've got probably 2 or 3 hours left before sundown.
Hmm.
Then we would be leaving, I think.
Yeah, we need
Heading
to kill
back's a
some
good
time.
idea.
Yeah. Go back and
Wanna
kill some
collect
time
some-
before dark.
Poisonous berries, please.
Do you have a knowledge of... you know the nightshade berries are poisonous, sure. You can grab a handful of nightshade berries if you wish.
What I assume is nightshade berries.
You would know. Like with what Ripple knows of nightshade and what it is with her herbalist skills, you would know that the berries are quite poisonous. To consume them, a handful would make you very ill. If enough of them are crushed and mixed with a liquid, you could potentially render someone paralyzed for a short time. If enough of them are consumed, it will result in death. But it would take a fair
Oh
amount.
man. So we need like a crap ton of berries.
Yeah, to kill someone with nightshade berries, you would have to, I would say, with Ripple's knowledge, you should impart the information that would take like the better part of half a kilo of berries, like consumed by mouth. You could potentially create a little bit of poison
Wine.
damage if you were to crush berries and coat a weapon with it. You might get a little bit extra damage out of that potentially. Nothing huge, but with a decent handful of berries, or a couple of decent handfuls of berries mixed into a liquid, like crushed and mixed into wine or water, if you were able to get someone to drink it, it would cause paralysis for a short time.
Thank you for the information, Ripple. I'm not gonna not trying to do it on the DL or anything. I'm just like, who knows? We may need to trade these or something.
Possible.
Could be good.
Might need them to paralyze Reed or myself.
I mean, yeah. Look,
Speaking of
that
which,
wasn't what I definitely wasn't thinking that.
speaking of Reed and Ripple, has now been the better part of a day out in the daylight. I need you both to make a Constitution save, please. Natural 20. Who was that? Ripple. Oh, what a shame. You don't. You guys haven't used your fucking luck rolls yet. God damn it. So, a natural 20 from Ripple. Ripple, you, even though you were bitten first and seemed to have the effect come on a lot quicker, you're doing okay. Like, you're not doing terribly. You, every now and again, you get that sort of swimming feeling with the overwhelmness of sound and sight and smell and everything else every now and again. But you're getting a hang of it. You're getting a hold of it now. The daytime is certainly a lot less thrilling for you. Like, it is kind of shushy. It's almost echoey, almost like you're in a fishbowl sometimes, the sound, which is why it's kind of disorientating a little bit and why you can't seem to focus on things. Reed, you're the same. Not a natural 20, but a dirty 20 nonetheless. You're still trying to come to grips with the excess noise that you're getting in your head and the senses, although during the day it seems to be harder to focus on any one thing, which is why you're struggling with certain things. It's still making you a little nauseated, but nothing over the top. So you guys are not doing terribly bad. You turn and head back towards Valaki, eventually breaking the tree line and cresting the road once again. As you head towards the gates, you notice a well-dressed older man, wearing a fine feathered cap, elven gentleman by looks, and he seems to be heading towards the Arasek stockyards. As you sort of all merge into the gate, he tips his hat towards you in acknowledgement as he passes in front of you, not wanting to cut you off or anything. He acknowledges that you're there and quickly passes in front of you, heading into the stockyards. And as you walk past the stockyard gates, you notice he's walking towards the carnival caravan that's parked there. And he goes around and disappears around the other side of it, and you lose sight of him. You continue onwards through Valaki. Yes?
That's not the same elven guy we saw at the bar, is it?
It certainly is.
Oh, okay. So I would remember him.
Yes, the elven gentleman you saw leave the Blue Water Inn the night before. You're indeed correct. I don't think you got his name.
Oh, okay.
No, I just made sure I said good night to him.
Yeah, you did not get his name. So a little bit of meta from Nutty there. You did not have his
Is that
name.
because I read that on the side of the
Possibly.
The wagon.
Yes, I
Yeah,
believe you did.
we did.
That's where I would've
The
got
wagon
that right.
came in.
Yeah, so you would assume
Yes.
if he's going there, you could assume that it's that may be Rictavia, up to you. But he heads in that direction. As you walk past, you notice him there, and he disappears behind the wagon, and you carry on heading back towards the Blue Water Inn. You do have an appointment, as it seems, at the blacksmith after dark. You've got a few hours before that happens. You've got a few hours of time. What do you wish to do in Valaki to kill those few hours? Just back to the Blue Water for
Get some
food?
lunch.
Was there a curfew in this town? Can't remember.
It doesn't appear to be. The gates get locked at sundown.
But nothing.
But there doesn't seem to be any kind of curfew where everyone has to be indoors at a certain time of night. What you do notice at night is that the Valaki guard double in presence around the township at night. There seems to be more of a guard presence in the evening than during the day. And they seem relatively well trained too, and you have noticed probably a bit of a militia as well. So it's not just the uniformed guard. There seems to be other members of the public that do form up with the guard on occasion, as you're sort of walking around, to suggest that there may be a town militia as well as the established town guard. So back to the Blue Water Inn, is it, with the group? You head back to the Blue Water. Erwin is there as usual, working on meals for people, and greets you very warmly, as he normally does, as you walk into the inn. You sit down, he offers you food and drink, and as he offers you drink, he offers you ale, not wine this time, which is a little unusual. And apologies for not having wine, but we are running a little low on stocks, so I would have to be ale for a wee while at least, until I can figure out why wine is not coming.
Didn't we talk to him about that?
You did a little
About
bit.
Going and getting possibly getting wine.
You did. He hadn't officially asked you. He sort of mentioned it, and nothing more was said. But he's now admitting that they're running out. Like, he's definitely sort of not. It's not good.
Yeah.
You seem to be having some trouble.
Well, a little bit. Wine. My family owns winery not far from here, and they normally bring wine, but it seems that we have not had wine for several weeks now. It is unusual. We do have we normally get Purple Grape Mash number 3. It's good wine, and occasionally we get Red Dragon Crush as well, but nothing for at least 2 or 3 weeks. Are you? I mean, you are adventurers, yes? You are for hire, perhaps?
Oh, yep.
This is good. Would you be interested in possibly going to winery at some point and finding out why wine is not flowing? I can make deals with room and food and wine, of course.
Sounds good to me. What about everybody else?
So it's not just that the wine is being stored for the festival?
Oh, this is problem also. We put some aside for festival, but we are starting to run low, and Burgermeister would get very upset if we do not have Red Dragon Crush in extra bottles in case. Festival in 3 days, or 2 days now, like a couple of days. But you will miss festival if you are to head to one and you miss festival. This would be sad. The festival is fun times. You can see it very heavily sarcastic, like heavy sarcasm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But if we do go out to the winery and we find what's going on and we are able to bring some back, have you got a wagon or some sort of cart?
There'll be wagon at winery. As I say, my family owns winery.
Yes.
My brothers and father are responsible, which is why I'm concerned. But there is wagon and stuff. They normally bring wagon here and unload and take wagon back. I am a little worried. Normally I would go myself, but someone has to stay here and run in. Wife can do most of it, but I have 2 young sons, and we really have a festival to deal with. I really can't leave myself.
We could
But I'd be
get
most
wine,
grateful if you could
borrow
maybe see
the
what is
cart
happening.
to get
Is this
grass.
winery? Is this winery? Does it happen to be near the swamps by chance?
Oh no, nowhere near swamp. Can't grow wine in swamp. This is bad place to grow wine. Vine's not like the damp ground.
Fair enough.
Winery is to the west. A couple of days, maybe 2.5.
We do have to get some other things for a day and a half, so maybe we swing by on the way back and.
This is
do the
we
grass
should
and
have enough
wine.
wine for a couple of days, couple of 3. Hopefully this be enough, but any help would be grateful.
grassling wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You need grass. There's
Absolutely,
grass
and
outside
that
on
is
the ground.
But
We can do potions wherever at any time.
yeah,
if we can.
inside lingo, it's grass.
If you need grass, there's grass outside and long.
Oh,
It-
we need special grass.
Yeah.
Special
my
grass.
special
I've heard
medicine
of
grass.
this. It's magic grass,
Yeah.
yes. I've heard of this before.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
Make
It
it
yes.
feel
lifts
good.
curses. Yeah.
Just don't let the Burgermeister
over
know
here
you
has
are
a-
smoking grass. It's not good for
Yeah.
morale.
Well, then
It makes
you
the
must keep
festival
your
more
mouth
fun.
quiet too.
But if you do find out what happened to wine and return and bring some wine with you, I offer you free room for a couple of days and food and wine to go with it. If this is acceptable.
I'm happy with that.
And in good faith, I give
think
you
it's
room free
fine.
for tonight as well.
That's, yeah, I have no opposition to this.
Then
Fine
we
with
are
me. I
right.
think it's a good job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your assistance. I'll be right back with your food. And he turns and
Sure,
heads back
Gus
into the
doesn't
kitchen.
mind, taps him on the shoulder.
Whatever you like, it's fine. It's no urgency in other matters or that we're trapped here. Like, wine's important, obviously. You have to have wine, yeah.
You enjoyed our wine the other night, didn't you not?
Oh,
I enjoy living at home too. Much more.
we're getting free room and board, which is good because we can spend the gold on doing other things to get out of here, right? So, you gotta think it's like chess. 3 steps ahead.
Yeah, smells like bullshit to me, but whatever.
You're thinking of a per battle sense. We need
That
to
could
think
be
of
your
the whole
feat.
war.
Ah, yeah, and he sort of scrapes it on the table.
Filthy animal.
Right, so eventually food is brought. You eat, you drink, and the sun goes down. And I would say, Reed and Ripple, you would be the first to know the sun has set because your whole demeanor starts to change a little bit. Your senses heighten once again. Your senses kick in. Your sense of sound increases. You're now getting a little bit more of a hang of it where you can focus on a particular sound now rather than having that symphony of sounds in your ears and not being able to sort of focus on anything and just have pain. Now you're starting to focus on specific sounds. Specific smells are becoming more, the ability to single out single smells now is becoming easier. The one thing you do notice and smell quite easily, the both of you, is the smell of fresh meat coming from the kitchen. The blood, that coppery, that iron smell of blood is thick in
Smells
the air.
great.
And it's
I need
while
some
it's not while it's not irresistible, like it's not something that you are struggling to control, it is definitely making you a little more hungry than you would normally be.
I would like to order a steak, please. Or whatever that meat is, it smells amazing.
And how would you like that cooked?
Raw.
Raw.
Are you sure? There's a lot of parasite in raw meat.
Maybe just blue.
Just bring it here.
Are your friends all right? Raw meat is not good.
It's just weird.
They're aficionados of protein. They're testing the different tastes of
I mean,
Valaki and
this
around
one's
the areas.
blue. Like,
Yeah.
they're strange where they're from.
Roll deception.
Right. I would say roll persuasion with advantage. We'll roll as a group. The two vampires in the group can roll with advantage.
No. What? No. No, 16's not bad.
Natural 20 from Ripple. Damn. Dirty 20 from Arcos. Orban with a 5. You're not very convincing, Orban. Neither's Jarik. Jarik's not very convincing either. But the rest of you seem to be reasonably convincing in your argument over the fact that you guys are not from here and these people are just a bit weird anyway. And he seems to believe it somewhat. A natural 20, he's convinced that you just like to eat raw shit. So he brings out a couple of raw, not huge, it's not like cow meat, it's probably more like a direwolf, so it's not like huge thick steaks, but they're big enough. And they are fairly bloody.
Sashimi.
They are extremely bloody as they come out. But they're also very, very tough, very stringy. It takes, even with your heightened skills, with your slightly more incised teeth, it does take you a little bit to get through it, but you seem a little better for it. So it is now after dark. Time to head to the blacksmith. You make your way back through the township of Valaki. The street lamps have been lit, the few that there are. The only shop that you notice as you walk through is two shops that still have lights in the windows as you walk through town. There's a shop called Blinsky's Toys, which has a light lit in the back of the shop, and in the window you see a range of different puppets and toys hanging in the window. And in the back, as you something you notice as you walk past is a rather large, sort of roundish looking man. Seems to be working in the back of the shop. Seems to work relatively late. And you also notice that there is another store, well, not really a shop, it's not really a shop front, but it's a building that has a sign out the front which says Heinrich's Coffins. And there's a light on in a second story window of this coffin maker's shop as you work through. The rest of the place seems to be fairly dark. There's not many lights on. A few private residences have lights on, but the shops themselves are all dark. Eventually you find your way to the smith. The smith is dark and cold. There's no smoke coming from the smithy as you would expect. And as you sort of approach, wondering, okay, how are we going to get into this place? Because it looks like it's all closed up. You hear a psst from the shadows to your left. And standing there in the shadows, sort of stepping out of the shadows, is Ivan Lucresh. And he sort of beckons you to come, not to the smith itself, but to the side of it. There's another sort of outbuilding. And he walks inside and stands at the door and beckons you in. As you all sort of enter this small room, and it's not huge, like all of you can sort of just fit in here. Closes the door behind you and he strikes a flint and tinder and lights a small lantern. And he says, good, you have come. Follow me. And he turns around and pulls up a trapdoor in the floor and heads down a set of steps into the floor below. Do you follow?
Sure, why not?
How
Well, you
close
didn't take our
behind are
weapons,
you,
so yes.
Sierra?
I mean, you guys are all pretty close. This is a small room. Think of like a bathroom, not a huge room. It's like you get 4 or 5 people in this room. So he's lifted the trapdoor and literally gone down into the floor. So you're all sort of standing quite close to each other.
I'm
Stranger, who we
following because I
don't
still have
know
my weapon. So
is wanting us to follow him into his basement.
well, he didn't say he had candy, so we're okay,
I've
right?
already run.
The
I'm
way
already
you were
fine.
reacting
You going down,
earlier,
Drake?
I
Sarah.
know.
So Jarek
I'm
is
pretty sure
gone.
you've run.
Jarek has already
I'm
descended
gone.
behind him.
Yep. I'm
Ripple
with him.
does.
I'm
Everyone
going.
follows. You'll follow down, and as you follow down, as he goes down the small short hallway, he hangs a lantern and then strikes another lantern and grabs it and walks in through another set of double doors, pushes them open, and then lights several lanterns as he walks in. And you walk into a large round room. And in this room, as he takes a seat on the opposite side and sort of beckons you all in, and asks you to close the doors behind you, he says, "I am sorry for secrecy, but too many ears in township. As I said, my name is Lucresh. I am blacksmith here in Valaki, but I am one of the few who will actually help you in this town. There is not many, so be careful who you decide to trust. I have many things here that will aid you in your time while you are stuck here. And believe me, you are stuck. You have been brought here on purpose. I'm not sure, and he gives you a bit of a sideways look, Syrah. I am certain that at least one of you here is not who they seem, and I must be sure before I proceed." And he stands up, and he reaches into a small cupboard on the wall and sort of pulls apart and pulls out a small, looks like almost like a small torch. And he strikes it and lights it, and it burns in a sort of purplish blue flame. And he places it in the center of the room. Anyone who wishes to resist this particular effect can roll a wisdom save, DC 16. Otherwise, you can choose to just fail the save. It is up to you.
I'll willingly do it.
Van with a success. So you're going to willingly fail the save?
No, I will. I'll wisdom save. Yeah.
So wisdom save. So to say DC is 16. Van has succeeded.
Oh, okay.
Arcos has failed.
Yeah.
Syrah has succeeded. Anybody else? Or are you going to willingly?
I'm willingly failing.
I'll
You willingly
willingly
fail?
I
fail.
trust this guy.
I stick my
Actually-
foot on the ground and like,
Okay.
Wait.
You can change
Does
your mind
he
if you
know
want to
if
fail it.
Okay. Does he know if I resist?
He will know who has saved and who hasn't.
I will not resist.
Okay.
I'm going to use my luck roll because someone
Okay.
should.
So you're going to use your luck roll and you're going
You watch me get.
to.
I'm all for the ayahuasca journey.
Oh no!
Roll
Oh,
better.
yeah.
So dirty 20. So you
Yeah.
have succeeded. So we have
Keep out of my
Orvan,
head, bastard.
Arcos that have saved. The rest of you have chosen not to, and chosen not to resist this spell. This is a zone of truth. So those of you that have passed your saves do not have to speak the truth if you do not wish. Those of you that have chosen to fail this save, when a question is put to you, you must speak the truth, or the truth is as you know it. He looks directly at you, Syrah. It seems that it seems he knows a little bit more about you than first seems. He looks directly at you and he simply says, "One of you here is Vistani, are you not? Or at least tied to."
One of us here is Bustani.
"And where do your loyalties lie?" And that question was directed directly at you, Syrah.
My loyalties lie with my heart.
This is good answer. But you understand, I must ask, because of where we are. If you are Vistani, or at least know of them, or are part of them, you understand why your friends are here.
Sadly, I do understand why they are here.
Which means you are also here, for same purpose, perhaps. Or are you willing? You are willing participant in this game, perhaps.
I am questioning. I am questioning that every night.
Ah, so you do not know.
Hmm.
This is interesting. Then I put to you that you are not a willing participant in this game, and that you are being tested. As are
Perhaps
your
I am being
friends.
tested.
So,
Why do you want to know?
because I am here of my own free will. Although I cannot leave, because I chose to come here and aid people like you. As did my father before me and his father before him. There are many reasons you are brought to this land. One is to play cat and mouse, or the evil that lives here. It brings adventurers, people of skill, to these lands. It then toys with them, turns them on each other, looks for one to replace. Perhaps take over, become lord of these lands. Become the new master, if you will. Such a person has not yet been found. Only a matter of time. But for many, it's just you come, you fight, you die, and you stay. Some who have managed to escape, various methods of doing so. And this is when he sort of gets up and starts walking around the room and starts uncovering items that he's got laid out in this room. For those that do not manage to leave these places, I collect items, things, to aid the next one that comes along. So as you see here, I have many weapons, armor, things that you will need in your future battles with the creatures that live here. And then eventually the one creature that has brought you here. I'm not 100% sure of what that creature is or how it does what it does. I just know that it exists and that people come and die. But if I can aid you and help you escape, then I will. I have to do it in secret, or I will be found out and I'd get killed, and that is not good for anyone, especially me. So, if you have coin, of course, nothing is for free. I have things that may help you in your battle. You may not have enough coin right now, but soon I think you will. You help the people of Valaki, you help the people of Barofia. They pay you in kind and coin. You come and see me, I help you with weapons, armor, things that you need to stay alive. Carry on my family tradition. But for you, and he again points to you, Saira, if you are not working for Vistani, then you are also a target. But if you are, and they come looking for me, then I come looking for you.
Is that supposed to be a threat or a compliment?
This is promise that I will come and remove your head from your body,
Oh.
and you'll be stuck here with the rest. I will protect my business and my family, as you should do with your friends. But as for the rest of you, just know that Vistani is not to be trusted. They are in league with master of these lands. They come and go as they please. They will try and fleece you at the first moment. Do not buy anything from them. Unless, of course, you want to. But they will be expensive. They will trick you. They will sell you false hope and false item. They are in it for themselves and for the money. Nothing more. Not all, of course. If this one is to be believed, she is not like the rest of them. But I leave that up to you to decide, of course.
So what sort of charges do you put on your weapons? How much gold are we talking?
It depends on what you want. If you're looking for armor, perhaps. And what you see around the place, like, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at here, you see a mixture of basic armors, leather, plate, chain. Nothing looks too high-end, like really super fancy. So you're looking at real basic +1 type armors. Basic enchanted braces, basic rings and things like that. So you're looking at just, again, low. It's not high-end stuff. This is stuff that he's collected over many years of being in this place, stuff that he's found from fallen adventurers and other things and such. But he simply says, take this piece as an example. And he holds up a simple leather armor piece. This will give you a little bit more protection than regular leather armor. This sort of cost you a few hundred gold pieces. Again, depending on trade and such. If you are able to bring me something that I could use, we may be able to barter. I may be able to offer work for such things as well. You bring me materials that I seek. We barter. Or you pay.
What if I work for you?
Don't.
Jerry?
I personally don't use armor. I'm stronger without it, but
I have rings, I have bracer, I have cloaks, similar things.
what sort of
Weapons,
weapons does he
perhaps.
have?
He's got a mixture. Again, all basic stuff, daggers, bows. Like, he has a range of weapons.
Does he have a rapier?
He would do, I would imagine.
How much for the rapier?
Again, we're looking 300, 400, 500 gold, at least. I have to make a living. I have to be able to find more of these things.
So, what if we made it 400 as a starting offer, as a starting deal to get our relationship on the way?
I tell you, I make another deal. Because I don't really know you, and you have Vistani in your group, I would make it 700 gold. Until you show me that you are worthy of such things. I have extended a courtesy to you because you are new here, and you are obviously not supposed to be here. I am not one to be taken advantage of. You need to prove yourself first before we make deal, I think. You help
Fair
someone in Valaki. You help them, and then we'll talk. I think this is fair deal. Do you not?
Yeah, it's a fair deal, but I'm not in the market at the moment.
I'm pretty certain that you would not just give someone a good deal when you first meet them. This is not good business. Especially for strangers. I'm taking all the
Especially
risk here.
weird strangers.
Well, as you said it, my friend. But, as I said, I have revealed myself to you. I don't know who you are. I'm taking risk that you are not going to talk to someone else around town or outside of Valaki and get me arrested or killed. I'm taking gamble. Especially since you have Gypsy in your group. As attractive as you are, young lady, your family is not well liked in this town. Not really anywhere in Barovia.
I can clearly see that.
And this is not through prejudice, believe you me. This is through actions.
I
The
didn't do
Vistani
the
have
zone.
spent many years bringing people here.
I didn't do this, and I point at the table. For you. I did it for them.
And that has proven to me that you can be trusted somewhat. But I also have known Vistani for a long time.
So have I, and they have treated people with nothing but kindness, and given them things free of charge, and shown respect.
They have also
You
brought
are the
people here
one.
to die.
That is charging exorbitant prices for things, but yet you say that I am going to steal from them.
Not you specifically. And I'm speaking merely from experience. Many years of dealing with them. And as I said, your family brings people here to their death. That is what they do for him.
Yara will slowly get up and look at her friends and climb the ladder out of the trapdoor. I don't think she would stick around for that.
He doesn't. He lets you go. He doesn't say anything more. He simply turns to you guys and says, "Apologies if I have offended your friend, but I am speaking from my own experiences with the Vistani and what they have done to other groups such as yours. I simply ask that you be wary of your dealings with them. If you find them friendly and agreeable, so be it. Do not mention my name to them, and you will have proven that you are trustworthy. And we can do better deals in the future." And I will do what I can to ensure your reasonable exit from these lands as best I can. There are others in this land that will help you if you know where to look. Just be very wary of who you trust and who you align yourself with.
Well, it's all just. Sierra has never done anything badly towards us. We are all amicable. She's a good teammate. Has helped us out quite a bit. I don't think her character says how you were saying this about them.
As I said, I'm speaking from my own experiences only. But she spoke true. So, it seems that for at least the time being, she is an ally to you.
Well, we are also being told by so many people we cannot leave, and now you're saying we can? We tried.
You can leave, but it depends on which avenue you take. There are many ways to leave this land. You cannot simply just walk through the gate, like you did when you came here. The mists around Barovia are quite deadly. There are several ways in which to leave these lands. I know of maybe one that is a surefire way, and that is to kill the evil that rules here. But this is easier said than done, yes?
Well, you were saying surefire way. You said you helped other people to get out too. Did they kill this evil as well?
Kill is a relative term. They kill it, it comes back. but you are not yet skilled enough to do that. These groups, or these few people that did survive and managed to escape. The last one was many years ago. There was more of them than you, 7 or 8, I believe. 3 survived. They were far better skilled than you.
But they weren't us.
Are the... Hmm. Is there a mace or anything that he has that I could potentially use?
As I said, there would be, for all of you looking around, there would be armor and weapons that you are all capable of using. And again, like I said, these cloaks, these rings, there's a few spotted things. So essentially, this would be a place where you would ask him for something specific. If you were wanting, say, example, a +1 mace or a +1 rapier, a ring of defense, something like that, he would potentially have it. There would be a price attached to it or a trade attached to it, whether it would be a job that he would ask you to do or a something he would ask you to do something for someone else. Like it's basically a trade and barter sort of situation. At the moment, he's just revealing himself to you and allowing you knowledge of his existence so that you now know where you can get said items. But he's also asking that you do something for the people of Valaki, at the very least, to prove that you're on the level, is essentially what he's getting at.
Which is kind of what we're going to be doing anyway.
More or less.
Yeah. Got the line and whatnot.
But you also get the impression with his kind of grilling of Sierra that he wanted you to be aware of her affiliations and that he does not trust the Vistani himself. He's obviously had some pretty not nice dealings with them, and he's just making sure that you guys are aware that the Vistani cannot be trusted. Or at least that's his feeling on it. Whether you what you guys do with that information is completely up to you. Whether you take that on board and side with Sire and the Vistani, or based on the information you guys had, because at the moment you've got no reason to distrust the Vistani either, because the couple of interactions you guys have had with them have been pretty positive. So you've really got no reason to distrust them based on what someone you've never met is saying.
Well, we'll take that into consideration. We are going to be helping out as much as possible. We do need to earn coin, to eat.
And if you need help in the smithy, I could be your guy.
There you go. It's like working off the the dishes.
Yeah, there you go.
At a restaurant. But yeah. Thank you for the information. We'll take that on board. That's my friend, though. So just gonna sidle out and walk away. See you later.
If you, as I said, now you know where I am. Come back after dark, and we can talk about potentially helping you if you wish it.
Okay, thank you.
Really?
And she wanders
should-
off
we
after
should-
Sierra and
Definitely go now.
I think Cherry is up there too. Like pretty much everyone's gone.
That's right. Well, that's kind of the whole idea. Like, he's just letting
Just
you
sitting
know.
here waiting to be asked questions. Like,
Right, as you exit the place, he lets you exit. He follows you up, closes the doors, and then as he goes past, and closes the trap door, leads you back out to the dark street, and wishes you all a good evening, including you, Sire. Like he's not going to really apologize. Like he's kind of apologized, but not really. And he's not ignoring you. He's not ignoring you as a Vistani. Like he's not treating you like he would any other Vistani. He wishes you all a good evening, and gives you a slight bow of the head, and turns and heads back into the darkened street, leaving you to yourselves to do what you will.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back slowly with the groom. If we go to are we going to back to the inn? I take it, possibly.
Yeah, because we got a free night.
I'm gonna fluff up a little pillow for Arcos. And, next to Ripple, I suppose. And, if we're settling in there, I'm gonna be like, what? There you go, Arcos. This is a nice little spot for you.
Appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah. So, you got any tales of being a filthy, dirty pirate?
I mean, like tons. Absolutely.
You know, like pillaging and stealing and all those things.
Yeah, and speaking of stealing, a mind to fleece that man.
I mean, like, I guess the pirates are gonna like gypsies, aren't they? They get
Yeah.
told all kinds
Oh.
of bad shit, and
I mean, if he was earnest about helping people who get trapped here, he wouldn't set us against each other, would he?
then raise the price, right?
That's what I did not like that way that man was speaking about June. And then saying this, that, and the other, but then doing the same thing.
Look, I know about this place, as I grew up in this place, but I didn't know when we were going on this quest that we were going here until we got here. And then how am I supposed to tell you all that I come from here? It wasn't the right time. Because you think exactly like that man. I know, I get that from everyone here, so I wanted to have you guys be my friends for a little longer before people like that started telling the stories that I've heard all my life, so...
Why would we listen to somebody like that? You've been with us for ages, and we're not going to take somebody who doesn't know you side of a story anyway.
So,
regardless.
before we carry on, are we all in the same room here, or are we separate rooms?
I would think we could be in the same room.
Yeah.
If you...
Just for the conversation-wise, to who's privy to the conversation and who's not.
Yeah, I think everybody's to be here.
Okay.
We'd
Easily
probably
enough
want
done.
to meet up after that guy,
Yeah.
right?
Easily enough done. Just for context, I just wanted to make sure.
Look, he's hot, and I do want to experience the hammering of a lifetime, but, you know,
different kind of
aside
hammering.
from- I like toxic relationships, but
I can change him. I swear.
It's a hot one to look out for. That's what it
he
is.
doesn't know me. Yeah, but
I
still,
know, he looked a little rapier to me.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Wow. Okay, that's strike one, Sticks.
Why can't you see? You belong.
luck with that troll tonight, Sticks. Look, I do agree with him that not everyone that's good is bad, and not everyone that's bad is good. But I think maybe all these people that they're saying are horrible, including what you're about to become, I think you should see with your own eyes and not what everyone says. You know?
Us, and I'm looking at Puck at this point, Captain and I would probably agree. We've been given names because of piracy. So who are we to judge? We judge people on their actions, not what other people say.
I mean,
And if you ever-
coming from my perspective, I get called names all the time by Puck, so I mean, it's just water off a rabbit's back, right?
Water off a. You do know
Rabbit's
water doesn't.
Back?
Something that simulates water, I guess. I don't know.
Get the curl in the fur, like sometimes.
I can teach you the ways of the Simic hybrid.
Oh,
No thanks.
I think you're gonna
No.
get it. No.
That's why I'm staying in here from now on.
Hammering. You stay with us.
I'll keep you safe, Captain.
And
But,
on the subject of the blood, I suggest we. No offense, Tariq, but we can use my blood. It's fine. Don't want any Simic maladies taking place.
See? Like off a rabbit's back.
Yeah, but you said you were cursed. Remember? You said you like changed. You were something else before. That's weird, and maybe your
I
blood.
wasn't cursed. I evolved. I mutated.
I mean, it's
I'm better.
potato tomato. It's the same thing.
I mean, if you're happy with what you've got, then who am I to change you? But I always look for more.
Or, I mean, if they want, like, maybe Reed, like, do you want to be half whatever Tariq is? Could be cool. We'll have a fun time.
No.
Wait, is this blood absorbing and making them half of whatever, or is it just a little bit of liquid that wet the whistle kind of thing?
I'm no magician, but like, it could happen.
I mean, if you want to, like, I think the whole point of it is, like, human blood is, like, mundane, whereas other creatures' blood is the opposite way, you know? They're not mundane, like, maybe a little magical. So, you know, that's why it has to be non-human. Not necessarily that we're going to, like, poof into, like, furry people.
Well, I probably have to agree with Arcos on this one because I was changed by an artifact, so it's possible that also changed my blood. And if that you drink that, then you might be affected too. For the better, of course.
I mean, I was affected by an artifact too. What do you think?
So
I got
needy.
these scars.
So fucking needy.
Is this
Oh,
some
that's-
sort of cult?
My
What the
story's
fuck?
better.
Yeah. My backstory's more sad.
Yeah. My parents are super dead.
I think technically, we don't have to have humanoid either. One drop of blood given that's non-human could just be animal. Not Arcos. Other species.
But doesn't it say
It
willingly?
it has to be given willingly,
Oh,
so
true.
it does come from an intelligent creature.
Oh,
So
wait.
it is the
I can
suggestion
speak to
that'd
small
be the
animals.
way that I wrote it. It suggests that it's a humanoid. It has to be humanoid, but non-human.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say I can speak to small animals.
which is why the priest suggested either Arcos or Zarik, as they are definitely non-human.
It is kind of interesting, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not human either.
You have human
No,
blood,
but
though.
you're also
Technically,
the
you
one
are.
turning into.
Yeah, I'm technically half. Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
the thing is, in the world of D&D, anyone can turn into a vampire. It doesn't matter what race they are, technically. But, like, there's always that human element that you've got to factor in some way.
And speaking of, and I mentioned it before, Sayer, remember how I told you that, like, you know, kind of like, and he goes up to it, it's like haunted by spirits.
Oh yeah,
Like, you know,
it's a gift. Yeah.
Sometimes maybe, and you would have, like, you know, stories and maybe spirits of, like, your ancestors, and maybe they were, like, really good with like potion making, and I thought, like, maybe if you had a story and you could raise one of those spirits, that maybe I can use some of what they know, and I can take it for my own for a bit, and then maybe this, and he brings out the kit, he's like, and then I'd know how to use this.
Oh, that is a very good idea. Maybe when the time comes, I will make a ritual and we'll see what we can do.
Can we keep the lights on? Like, it doesn't have to be in the dark, right?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Dark is better. I could hold your little paw. Be all right.
Alright. And anyway, you know, I need to sleep on it. But, you know, it'd be
Well,
helpful, and I'll do anything to help Ripple and Reed.
Well, we have a day and a half journey, so there's plenty of time to think on it.
Yeah.
See.
Right. Anything else overly important that needs to be discussed before we finish up? Because Nutty's needing painkillers very soon, and we are pretty much bang on time anyway. So I think that's probably a good
Arcos
place to
goes
call
to
it.
curl up on his pillow
No worries.
after that conversation.
Ripple will throw a blanket over him.
Right. So, with that being said, eventually you all retire to your relative sleeping places. We will save. I was going to get you guys to make some wisdom saves, but we'll save that to the start of the next session, I think. So, no long rest just yet. We will continue this night. There's going to be something happening during the night that you need to make a couple of saves for before we do the next day. Just to give you a bit of anxiety for the next session. But anywho, that'll be the end of this session, ladies and germs. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. I appreciate it. Thank you to Nutty, especially, who's in pain because he had surgery not that long ago, to sit here for 3 hours and do that. But cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Good to have a full team. We will see you guys in a couple of weeks. I will put the date up in the Discord as per usual. We will hopefully be a couple of weeks. If not, Nutty and I are moving. Just saying, we are moving in a couple of weeks as well into our new house, which we bought, which was kind of crazy, but it wasn't something we actually planned on doing. It just happened. But that's on the 24th, which is I think will be the next session. So we may or may not have that session. It just depends. We should have internet the Friday before, so hopefully we'll still be able to do it. But I'll let you know. Obviously, getting a bit closer to the time, because that'll be the only reason we're not playing is we don't have internet. But we should. But thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, chat, for hanging out. Good to see all those in chat. Magic, I see you in there. Thank you so much, Mr. Stib, as well. Vancouver, good to see you there too, my friend. and a few others that are lurking there as well. I'm not going to call you out. I see you in the chat. But I do thank you for hanging out with us tonight for this session 14 called The Cure, which we'll probably have The Cure Part 2 in a couple of weeks, because this will be a continuation of attempting to find the cure for the vampirism curse that Reed and Ripple have both contracted. But little bit of backstory and stuff coming out tonight from a couple of characters. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much, team. Appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.